All right. I think it's good.
Hey, it's
Yep.
us.
Nuts.
Live?
Nuts. Nuts.
Live?
Nuts.
Hello?
Nuts.
Can you hear
Nuts.
me? Everybody out
Nuts.
there in Twitchland?
Nuts.
Everybody out there in
Nuts.
Twitchland, hello.
Yep, I
Are
can
we
hear it.
live? Okay, good. Welcome back to Dicey Decisions, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Sorry we're a few minutes late, but we're ready to go. Our normal stream is inactive tonight, so we have 4 of us come together to play a one-shot called Scarab of Death.
Very spooky.
Anyway, we are Dicey Decisions, and our normal stream on Fridays is called Twist of Fate, where we're taking characters from 3 all the way to 20. And we have a Monday night stream called Zeros to Heroes, where we went from level 0 up to wherever we get. We're currently at level 3. So, yeah, tonight's episode, one shot is written by Benoit de Bernardi. I guess it's French pronunciation. It's called Scarab of Death. It is it's set in Waterdeep. It's just a D&D module that has great reviews. So, I'm Jack. I'll be your DM for the night. Let you guys introduce yourselves very quickly and say a little bit about what you love. I'm Jack. I like slow walks in the rain. No, that's completely wrong. Anybody else?
I'm Sean. I do actually like a slow walk in the rain. That does sound nice. The rain around here is very chilly right now, so that's gonna have to wait a few more months.
Mhm.
But I will be playing Bjorn Bitterleaf this evening, a veteran detective of the Waterdavian Constabulary.
Go ahead, Katie.
Hi, everybody. My name's Katie Combat. I stream over on twitch.tv/cardboard combat with my partner Randy. We play a lot of Magic the Gathering and also Dungeons and Dragons. And I am honored to be invited to join Dicey Decisions on this stream. I'm really excited about it. This is my first foray into the 2024 rules, so I'm pumped. I'm going to be playing Phils with Shorelocks, a tabaxi detective of the Waterdavian Constabulary, who might have a little bit of a sordid past, but quickly learned that the way to achieve his goals in Waterdeep was much easier from this side of the legal line. So he's all about wanting to know as much as possible.
And thanks for being here, Katie.
Yeah.
Stepping up and joining us. That's very kind of you. Justin?
Hi, everybody.
Spoiler.
Justin. I'm in every stream, all the ways, all the time in Twitch.
Not on Mondays.
I'm not in your stream, but I'm at least on Twitch. Tonight, I am joining everyone as a player. I will be playing a Goliath of Hill Giant ancestry that is a former guard and soldier who fought in a war, came home, retired as a soldier, and the only thing he knows how to do is beat things up and follow the law, so cop. He goes by Bart, but you will soon learn that he actually comes from money and has a much longer name, but I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, it'll be spoiled hundreds of times.
Oh yes.
It's already spoiling.
And Amanda.
Hello, I'm Amanda. I am going to be playing Patricia What is my character's name? Patricia Hopperton. Yeah. So she goes by Patty. She's rookie Herringon, newer to the Force, but yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
And
Detective
thanks.
right out of the academy.
Top of her class, really very impressive.
Oh yeah, by the book.
We're all super impressed.
And thank you, Amanda, for running the stream tonight. And with that, sit back and enjoy yourselves, folks, as I read our little intro and we dive right into the city of Waterdeep.
Sordid underbelly.
It's a gloomy mid-afternoon in Waterdeep, a bustling and beautiful city on the Sword Coast. Merchants, shopkeepers, and townfolk go busily about their routines in between rain showers. Under the awnings on street corners, or with dryness spells cast about their greatcoats, the city watch keep their beats. In the Belfry, the central keep of the Raging Bull District, the city watch seems lightly manned. This usually means a day filled with misdemeanors, emergencies, or crime. At the top of the belfry is a lone office with a large window, grown right there in place by one of the masked lords of Waterdeep. A wizard whose name is unknown, but who made a big deal of how much a pain in the ass it was for her to stand in the belfry growing a window for a city watchman yet again. Standing there just behind her on that day was Constable Bernard Cathont, the person in charge of law enforcement in the Raging Bull District, and he waited patiently and silently for the window to be completed. That was only 3 weeks ago, after the last time the window had been smashed by the disgruntled family member of a felon he'd had locked up. Today, the constable stands staring out of that window at the wet streets below, deep in thought. One of the many things rattling around in his brain is the distinct lack of manpower on hand and his extreme discomfort in that. It's a real, profound discomfort. He grits his teeth. He grabs one of an array of Rocky Talkies on a side shelf and looks at it with distaste. He sets it back down and takes a few moments to pour himself a short drink and tosses it back. He sighs deeply. Grabbing the rock roughly again, he speaks into it. Right. Officer Cheryl, send him up. And send up some bean juice too, please. Yes, Constable, immediately, Constable, says Officer Cheryl, a round dwarf, standing at the bottom of the stairs holding the door open for a small group of investigators. She hands the largest one a steaming mug of black liquid. Run this to the constable, would you, dearie? Please describe yourselves for our audience and explain why you wound up here as you travel up the stairs to see the constable.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say I believe the order starts with Amanda.
yeah. Don't mind me just in the middle of actually making the character. It's fine. It's cool.
We're very well organized tonight.
Yeah, it's been a week. So Patty is a gray Harangon. Very small. She's only about like 3.5 feet tall, somewhere in that general vicinity. Depends on how her ears are standing that day. She's very excited. She's literally hopping up these stairs, kind of taking them 2 by 2 as fast as she can. She's got the cup of bean juice in her hand, and like even though she's jumping around, is like surprisingly able to keep it from sloshing over. She decided to enter the police force mainly due to her twin brother going missing. And where she's from, there have been a lot of issues with underground Harangon fur trafficking. And so that's what she thinks has happened to her brother. So she joined the police force to try and figure out a way to get him back.
following along behind her is a also small, probably similarly heighted, but with much shorter ears, orange tabaxi, who has the traditional, kind of cat-like ears and the orange tabby pattern, but their nose is decidedly more fox-like. And they're dressed in their uniform, which is cleaned and pressed and starched, but looks extremely worn around the forearms and right around the middle of the thigh, and it's immediately apparent why as he stops on a stair and looks down at his foot and squeaks the stair a little bit, pushes up his sleeves, hikes up his pants a little bit, bends down, looks at it, kind of pokes it a little bit, and then grabs one of many books which are kind of hung around his belt, stops and thumbs through it, looks down, kind of an index, and then goes to a specific tab, flips over, and jots down a quick note on a page full of other tiny, tiny little notes. Puts it away and then continues up the stairs. Fiddles with Shore Locks is a driven man who wants more than anything to know all the secrets of Waterdeep. He wants to be the one who knows the identity of all of the lords. He wants to have the dirt on everybody in the city, because that's the best way to make sure that he can deal with anything that might come up. But that driven desire for knowledge doesn't always follow the rules. He's not somebody who cares very much about whether he has a warrant to search a location. He's just going to get in there and figure it out. And I think he and the constable have certainly butted heads against that around that topic for a while.
Right behind, stopping short as Fiddle stops at the step, taking 3-4 steps at a time, is a massive mountain of a man, a Goliath of hill giant ancestry. So he's got a little bit of a goitery neck. His stomach, though you can tell is all muscle, looks like a gut, even though it's solid. Almost all of his exposed chest, which of course is exposed, is covered in scars. And he has a big tattoo on his left bicep of his military regiment where he went off to fight the war. He's carrying enough weapons to take on the city guard himself. He's got a warhammer, a longsword, a hand axe, a battle axe, a glaive, a halberd, a pike, a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow, and a longbow. He's just head to toe. He's got a dagger in each boot, and he just is happy to be there. And the whole reason that he's there is because he's the type of person that peaked in high school, went to the military, got out, had nothing better to do, and became a cop, because that was all he knew how to do, and that's all that he is. And he's not a very good one unless it comes to enforcing the law. He doesn't do much of the investigation.
And standing sort of insouciantly on the Goliath's shoulder, leaning back against the bundle of halberds, not really holding on, is a small halfling, about 3 foot tall, sort of tousled sandy hair. Somehow he manages to make even a city guard's uniform look sort of rakish. His cloak is sort of at a dashing angle, and sort of shimmers, even with a little bit of magical energy. Has a very fine rapier on his hip, and he is sipping on his bean juice and sort of looking very unimpressed with being called in by the chief when it's really supposed to be his day off. And so he has joined the constabulary as part of one might call it a plea agreement with the Waterdavian ruling council. There was a small matter of a noble's estate and maybe a picked lock and possibly a missing safe or an open vault. It's not really clear what the details were, but it was made very clear to our friend Bjorn that it would really behoove him to use his skills for the greater good, let's say. So takes one to catch one, right?
The constable turns from the window when you enter and looks at you, witheringly, for a solid minute, studying your faces. Then he looks away again, rubbing his eyes. The constable is a man that you guys respect, you do not like. He gets the job done. He has your back, but he doesn't like you either. He doesn't really like anyone. He yawns, and you notice he looks very tired. He breathes deeply and blows out his cheeks. Right then, you lot. The body of a young noble, Aaron Littlehorn, was just found in the street with a gruesome wound in his chest and a brooch sitting atop it. The body's in the morgue below. We have his servant here in custody, but after you question him, we can likely let him go. He reported the death that happened right before his eyes. This young man's father is an important noble of the city, Archibald Littlehorn. You may have heard of him. He's a ruthless bastard. If we can keep him out of it, we're much better off. Low profile this thing if you can. We're up against the clock. Question everyone thoroughly and try not to ruin this investigation. Oh, my reputation. He blows a heavy sigh. One more thing. Personal friend of mine, Nabuli El Jassafir, seems to be involved. He's a merchant from the desert city of Kalimport. He owns a nearby auction house called Nabuli's Bazaar of the Extraordinary. And you guys would have... You know where this place is. The death was just outside the bazaar. The manservant says they were in the bazaar just before the death. El Jassafir took the brooch off the dead man's chest, apparently, and has it in his possession. I'll let you sort it out. Let me know as you progress, and don't do anything hasty without my go-ahead. He stops and he rubs his face. He hands Patty a walkie-talkie. Direct line. Don't lose it.
Hey,
Dismissed.
Chief, you said this Nabuli's a friend of yours, huh?
Yes.
How
What
long
of
you
it?
known him? Like good friend? Like known him a long time, good friend?
That's unimportant to this investigation. Just
Well,
a
I
friend.
mean, you did say question everybody.
Question
just-
everybody.
Just wondering how well do you know Nabuli well enough that we should maybe take special care to make sure his name stays out of it? That's all I'm asking.
Question everyone.
You got it, boss. Rook, seems like you got the Rocky Talkie. You're in charge. Lead the way.
I can interrogate.
What is it, young lady?
Well, I've not been in charge yet. I think there's got to be a chapter in the book that says somebody of higher seniority is supposed to be in charge. She pulls her little pocket-sized handbook off of her belt and starts flipping through it. And it's like, when I say pocket size, I imagine it's about the thickness of the penny cover version of the stand, so it's just like 4 inches thick. Yeah, it's huge. Here, Fiddles. And she'll just hand the rock to Fiddles.
And Fiddle will disappear.
Fiddles said, "No, the fuck you don't."
Fiddles takes it, kind of half looking as he's like furiously writing in the book. Every word that came out of the constable's mouth, Fiddles was writing down, and then making little notes next to it, clearly like thinking through some things. Takes it and kind of shoves it into his coat without really looking at it. But does flip over to kind of an inventory sheet and writes down Rocky Talkie, and then flips back to what he was doing and goes back to writing furiously.
He points directly at Patty the bunny. Patty, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And says, "Keep them in line, especially these two." He points to the giant and the midget.
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't call him that.
Small person, my bad.
Halfling, please. I have my dagger out, and I'm like cleaning my fingernails. And I sort of look up as the chief sort of mentions it, and sort of kind of wipe it off on my pant leg and put it away. I'm like, yeah, you gotta keep us in line. We're
Martin just wipes off his mouth and goes, "You're right."
Okay.
I said,
Sick-
dismissed.
Thanks, Captain. She'll like lean over to Bart's ankle, probably. So, Section 12, Article 4, you can't eat on the job.
What?
Mm. And she just like,
Dripping crumbs onto her head.
ugh, disgusting.
She says you're a slob. It's in the book.
Why'd they write that down?
Fiddles looks up and does look down and write down. Makes a note.
All right. Come on, Rook. Come on, Fiddles. The chief probably has enough to do without looking at our ugly mugs anymore. Let's go.
Bye, Chief. I hope you have a good day.
Hope you find your dad.
Exactly. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Don't worry, Chief. We'll crack this wide open.
He
So,
just
Well,
uh,
I'd like to
said
speak to
he
that
would.
eyewitness. I don't know about anybody else, but I
Yeah.
want to hear from somebody who was there.
That seems to make sense.
We
He
should also
is
check out the
currently
morgue.
in the building.
Yeah, I have some questions for the victim as well, but I'd like to get some information from the eyewitness first.
So you're
sorry.
going to find the.
Back that up there, Fiddles. Questions from the victim.
Yes,
Fiddles does magic.
we'll have to be very specific with the questions. I may ask your large friend to wait outside.
I was gonna say, we haven't worked together before. Maybe you didn't know that the victim was the dead one, but that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, I know all the words. It is one of my things.
I sort of take a look at your book. Yeah, I believe that's probably true.
I can question him.
You can,
No.
You can look real scary. You can do that for us, big guy. Look
Well,
real scary.
Are we supposed to? I don't think intimidating the witnesses in the book.
I mean, actually, page 357, advanced interrogation techniques. It's good cop, bad cop. It's article 4, section 32B in the procedures manual. You should check that out there.
I'm the good cop.
Patty just follows behind and is like furiously flipping pages trying to find this.
I will literally walk down Bartholomew's chest onto the floor and just kind of like start walking ahead of the group.
Okay. So you would know where they
Yeah.
keep the witnesses and stuff. So you go and you see this older gentleman just nervously wringing his hands. You can see there's still speckles of blood on his hands and arms and a little on his shirt, just rocking back and forth, watching everybody who passes expectantly. And you walk up to him and, are you here to ask me questions?
Yeah,
Yep.
we got a couple folks that got some questions for you. Our esteemed colleague here, Detective Constable Patty Hopperton, is the investigator in charge and has some things she wants to ask you.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. I can tell you everything.
Let's start with what happened.
Yes,
He's good.
my young master, who just was killed. His name is Aaron. I'm not. I can't just tell you what happened. I'm not certain. It appears that uh, the the brooch turned into an insect, and and before I know it, my young master was on the ground, and this insect was boring a hole out of his chest, and my master was lying on the ground, and this insect turned back into a brooch and just sat there, and that's all. It happened so quickly. I'm not sure how this could be.
While he's talking, I would like to make an insight check to see if I can kind of been observing him this whole time. And from my subclass, I have ear for deceit. So when I make an insight check to determine if a creature is lying, I can treat any roll of a 7 or lower as an 8. So I would, yeah, as he tells this story, I would just kind of like to insight that, please, to
Go for
see
it.
what I
Roll
think
an
about
insight
his
check.
truthfulness. So that is an 18.
Okay. And he rolled a 2. If he were being deceitful, you get the feeling that number 1, he is scared to death. Number 2, there's probably more that you can get him to say. Um, the history, like what led up to this, etc. He's just telling you exactly what happened as the person died. And number 3, he is being very honest.
Understood.
What's your name, friend?
Um, my name is Liam Roogs. Liam Roogs. I am the manservant to young Aaron and Archibald, Master Archibald. That's Archibald Littlehorn. He's going to be so upset.
Let's stay focused, Roogs. All right, Mr. Roogs.
You want to tell him
Can you
I can. Yes,
I,
yes.
you tell me what happened just before this? Where this brooch? Where'd it come from? What were you guys doing? What had you in that part of the city?
The brooch, the brooch was lying on the floor, and my young master picked it up. It's interesting. He's not a thief, but he noticed it lying on the floor, and he waited until everyone left and took it. I'm not sure he was looking at it though, as we walked out, and then maybe 2 blocks later, he fell to the ground. And it was that quick. I, I don't understand.
Where was it lying on the floor?
It
Just
was
street or?
in the auction house. In the auction house, it was lying on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Not a thief. Not a thief is what you said. Your words, not mine. What were you doing in the bazaar? What were you there for?
Well, we were the young man. The young master was there to potentially bid on an item. It's an interesting place to go to see, to auction off magical items, and he's gone there more than once. We've been there before. Nothing undue has happened before. It was we've never seen a piece lying about. Perhaps someone has dropped it. I don't know. Maybe he was intending to give it to the City Watch to have it returned. I'm not sure why he picked it up.
What he bid on?
Yeah, nothing. He bid on nothing that day. We just
What
went
was
to
he there to
watch.
bid on, though?
He likes to go watch. This is the first time we went, he bid on nothing as well. He he likes to see all the magical items. He doesn't have much money. His father is very tight with the money and doesn't like young Aaron. He would have to save up to do something like that, you see. He would have to, but he didn't have any with him today. He just wanted to go watch. This is making sense. Oh, I'm in so much trouble, aren't I? Please
He
don't.
went to watch without any money to bid with, even though normally he likes to bid on things. Had he ever found anything lying around the bazaar before and walked away with it?
No, of course not. Of course not. At least not that I know of. How long does your insight check continue? Is it just momentary?
Yeah, I would have to try again to at this point probably to figure out whether or not he's lying.
You can feel free to have it like ongoing anytime you
So-
roll it.
He's not a thief, are you?
His eyes get really wide and he sits back down. No, I am not a thief. I am a servant, a good servant to the Little Horn family.
How long have you worked for them?
That I would like to make an insight check on. I would
Roll it. Sure.
It's also an 18 because I can't roll any lower than an 18.
Wow. He's being honest to a degree. Like he's super nervous. Like you might be asking about the knife and fork that he brought to his bedroom that don't really belong to him. Or there's a tablecloth maybe that he has used as a curtain or something like. But he's to the extent that like
He's
an
nervous,
18
not nefarious, right?
Correct.
Okay.
An 18 is reading pretty damn deep into somebody, and he's not coming up like criminal in any aspect.
Katie, you're
Katie?
muted.
Mr. Roogs, is there anything you wouldn't do for the Little Horn family?
Wouldn't he looks completely taken aback by this question. It's taken him out of the situation.
Let me give you a little example while you're thinking about it. Because, according to the Code Legal of Waterdeep, hampering justice can enact a fine up to 200 gold and hard labor for a 10-day. Now, I wouldn't want to think that you were hampering justice, Mr. Roogs. So it's important you tell us everything you can about what happened today.
I think Katie's a
Yes,
cop in
yes.
real life.
You have to tell us.
He says, if I am, I'm certainly not trying to be. I'm giving you everything. What more can I say? I don't have any reason to. This is my master, and I certainly couldn't afford a fine that deep. That's deep. Well, what more can I say? I wouldn't steal. I wouldn't.
What'd you
I
do with the
wouldn't
brooch?
murder. I left it alone. It was on my young master's chest. When the watch found us, I believe the man who runs the auction came up and was there with us, and I was answering questions, and then it's possible he reclaimed the brooch. It wasn't there when they took my young master's body. It was no longer there.
Did you notice anything unusual about the brooch? Anything that stuck out about it? Any writing on it or designs? Anything unusual?
It was the shape of a scarab beetle. It was made of you can see that there's like the beginning of tears in his eyes, and he's sweating and still wringing his hands, and he's trying to calm himself down to be rational. He closes his eyes and says, "It was made of gold and gems, shape of a beetle, and it did not move on the floor, and it did not move once it came out of his chest. It just lay there. There's still a pin on the underside, as far as I could tell. It was a brooch, I tell you, a brooch that came to life and then went back to a brooch."
And wait, now you're saying it went inside his chest, the whole bug.
It came out of his chest.
That's worse.
It would have
How
had
did
to
it get
go.
there?
I would have to go in to come out, right?
I didn't see what made it go in to come out. I just saw my master screaming just in front of me and falling to the ground. I don't know. Then he was bleeding everywhere, and this insect burst out of his chest and crawled and stopped. It
I
was
hate
terrible.
everything about that.
Is your young
And you
master
said-
an eater?
A what?
A what?
Like, uh, uh, so sometimes when I get started eating, I'm not really paying attention. I've eaten a fork before.
That's concerning.
No, he.
Was maybe he had a roll in one hand and the brooch in the other, and
I do not believe he ate the brooch. I don't think he put it in his mouth. No.
Mr.
Kinda
Rubes, you said that
on the thigh.
you said that it was a couple of blocks outside of the bazaar that your master started screaming and the bug bored out of his chest, etc.
That's
But
correct.
you also said that the owner of the bazaar then took the brooch. Did he follow you from the bazaar, or did he appear after the
That's
incident happened?
He. You must understand, the place was crawling with people. My master's screams awakened the entire area, and there were people from many shops coming out to see what was the matter, and this eccentric red fiery-haired man appeared, and after
Never
the
trust
fact,
a redhead.
after the fact, yes, and he scooped it up. If it was him, I suppose. I'm not sure exactly. He was there investigating.
Did you hear your master say anything before he started screaming? Did he say a word or series of words or?
He doesn't speak that much to me. I was carrying his baggage of clothing that he had purchased. And no, he didn't really say anything to me.
Because, heaven forbid, too, because I'm sure your master is just a saint, but did he have any enemies? Anybody who maybe didn't like him? Because, anybody who might see to it that a very fancy brooch should get dropped in front of a kid that they know can't bid at the auction house.
Enemies?
where's his
Yeah,
bag of stuff?
I believe I left them. Maybe someone grabbed them for me? I don't know. I didn't even
Go
think of
back to
that.
answering
Oh,
his
no.
question.
Well, can you repeat the question, please? No, I don't think my young master had any enemies. I mean, there were people he frequented. There was a girl he liked, but
What's the girl's name?
I don't know. I couldn't say. I wasn't always with him, you understand. Only when he needed me, he would go off on his own frequently. He was an adult. He's not like a child. He was a...
Where did he go to meet this girl?
Well, I'm sure I can't tell you that. I don't
Oh,
know. Only-
Do I need to remind you about the 200 gold
don't
fine
know.
and the
I
10
don't
days
know.
of labor?
I don't know. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't know. I suppose maybe a tavern or under a tree or
Don't guess.
Thinking of places where people would go on dates.
I'm gonna incite this poor bastard again, but I almost feel bad for not catching him out.
I don't know if me threatening him would give any
That's
kind
a
of advantage
19.
on that insight check, but I am trying to throw him off a little bit.
You can have advantage. You can't roll under an 18, right?
Right, it's a 19 this time.
He 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 sounds a little bit fishy, but he's telling the truth because he's about to wet his pants. He's so frightened. More than anything else, he's frightened of telling Archibald, the dad.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
We're just gonna walk over, kneel down, put one big meaty hand on his shoulder, say, "Don't leave town," and stand up.
The meaty
I,
hand pushes him down to one knee. He's just quaking underneath your hand.
my comically oversized friend here does have a point. We do need you to stay in contact in case we need something from you in the future. But that brings me another question. You say that the young master didn't have any, he was just kind of a a sap with his girl, and well, okay, what about the old master? He got any enemies that maybe would want his son dead?
He is a very successful business person, and I imagine I'm not privy to that information, but I imagine that he has rivals and that sort of involvement with people. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And how do you think he's gonna accept the news of his son's passing?
Probably have me killed. He'll probably have me killed.
That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
That's also
Now,
late.
It's
listen,
terrible.
we wouldn't
I
want
think
that. So
I think there's something in the book about like, I think we can like get you protection.
yeah, so what my rabbit friend here is saying is that if he didn't find out about this for a while, so maybe we can get you into a secure location and he doesn't try to have your head removed from your shoulders, so we can talk to you later. Maybe it'd be good if we didn't tell him for, at least a couple hours, maybe, when is he supposed to be back?
At this point, this guy's just like out of his mind, just so confused and scared that he's not really able to put rational thoughts together. What do you mean? When will he be back? Where is he? Where is he
I'll
gone?
sit down very calmly and I'll just kind of like, look, I'm just here with your own best interests at heart, right? I just want to make sure that you don't have a bad time when you go back home. We want to protect you. We want to keep you safe. And we want to make sure that justice is served. And I'm going to make a persuasion check here to just kind of calm him down a little bit and try to bring him back to
Okay.
himself. You want to do some breathing exercises with me? You need some bean juice.
Bean juice doesn't help anxiety. You learn that in like your first day on the job.
All right, that's a 29 persuasion check.
He closes his eyes and he clasps one of your hands between his, and he just sits there and shakes a little bit, but he stops speaking and he
Yeah.
says,
See?
could I please? I hate to bother, but a sip of water. It's been a long day.
Absolutely. And I gonna need the hand to go and
I got
the-
it.
thanks, bye. So when was the young master due back home? When is the old master expecting you?
I assume at the end of the day, our master will return. Of course, the young master has missed a night, or two. He is an adult. He can come and go as he pleases. I'm not sure when he'll be expected. I would say after several days, Master Littlehorn will definitely find me and ask me all the questions. I don't want to be the one to have to tell him, please. Can you have someone do that for me?
That seems reasonable. We could probably have somebody work that out.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty standard procedure to have somebody tell like the dad that their kid died.
Yeah, but maybe
It's
after
called
You
next
say it
to
that
kin.
way.
maybe after we've taken a look around, and maybe well, we just got. Yeah, we know. All right.
I'm pretty sure the book says you do that first.
I'm pretty sure the chief said to keep it quiet and shut your fucking mouth.
Bart comes back in, taking a sip of the paper cup water and holding a donut in his hand. Here you go.
Give him the donut too.
Here you go.
Oh, that's nasty.
It has
He-
sprinkles.
He takes it and kind of looks at it and bites from the side that you didn't bite from. So now he's got two chunks. And he washes it down. Must I eat this whole thing?
Nobody's
If you're not
forcing
gonna,
you.
I will.
Oh, okay. He hands him back to you.
I might have missed this. Is the body here?
The body's
In the morgue here.
Here underneath this.
Okay, okay. Okay. Well,
I think I'm ready to go check out the body if you guys are.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave you here for now. We're gonna make sure you're safe and comfortable. We're gonna go ask some questions and do some things, and I'm sure we'll get this whole thing sorted out.
Thank
Bart
you.
pulls
Thank
out a
you.
blanket from his backpack and wraps it around his shoulders.
Oh yeah, he really appreciates this. He tucks it around and just kind of maybe pulls it over his head a little bit and just curls into himself.
don't go anywhere.
Out of the manor, but you can't take the manners out of the gnome.
Yeah. Do you have like a room where you can like lock the door?
They're jail
At
cells.
home, I have my own room at home. Yes, I imagine me going home without my young master.
Oh, no. Don't go home. We'll like get somebody to like go put you in like an interrogation room so that way you're not
Like this interrogation room here that we find ourselves in.
Oh,
Officer
yes.
Cheryl comes.
I don't
Officer
fucking know where I
Cheryl
am.
Comes bouncing over. The one who gave you the
Yeah.
coffee for the chief comes bouncing over. Big
Sure.
smile on her. Yes, I heard everything you said. Come on, my dear. And she wraps an arm around him and starts leading him off to a room.
She'll take good care of you.
I have a
Don't-
crush on Carol.
Don't we all? Don't fuck with Cheryl though. She will shank you.
She doesn't have a mustache, but she's got a thin beard.
Bart has the full-on top mustache, from nose to the top of the lip.
Sure. And sticking out like this far off his face.
Right.
Huge.
All right, Rook, lead the way. Chief put you in charge.
This is stressful. Okay, well,
I kind of put my hands behind my back like I'm gonna pace and kind of pace like up Bartholomew's back, kind of onto his shoulder. Just start thinking.
that'd be awfully cool. Anyway,
Yeah, no, it is.
okay, to the morgue. And then she'll like start skipping towards the morgue.
Okay, it's,
I look
it's
up at
just
Bart
a
and ask for
floor.
a piece.
Puts one hand down. Their shoulder.
Yes,
Huh.
you guys walk down the stairs and push open the swinging double doors, barn doors, and it's cold down here.
I feel stereotyped into the shorty squad here.
3 tinies and a monster.
I get a little
Yeah.
bit bigger when we go into the cold room, just as I get really
Not
puffy.
3 minutes.
I feel like I've seen that video before.
Three babies and a man.
Mhm.
I've not seen that video before.
So you're in the morgue, and there's a guy like a mortician with a long face. He's an Earth Genasi, super long, thin face and long hands. What can I do for you?
Gary, right?
Gary is my name.
Hell yeah. Gary, we need to see a body that had a bug come out of it.
Ah, you must mean the young noble.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of people who bugs come out of them?
Obviously not, because you knew exactly which one.
He
we were talking
stops
about.
That's
and
fair.
turns back around to you. He wears his coat with the collar up, so it's like framing his head. He turns around, treating your question very seriously. We do not.
Oh.
Could be our first. Right this way. And he leads you to a table, and he pulls the sheet off of the body, and it's a young man.
Gary, have you examined the victim? Do you have insight that you can share with us as your in your professional expertise?
What I have found in my search, my examination, is a large hole in the young man's chest. You
Does-
can see it right here.
Does it look like there's both an entry and an exit? How does Bug get in without, how does Bug get out without going in? I think is the big question here.
He pulls out, he's got this pocket protector, and he pulls out this long stylus. Looks like a wand, and he uses it to put the very end. You see the dig marks here, where the creature chewed its way out. Do you see this? And he's
Uh-huh.
indicating. Yes, well, it appears right here next to it. There are indications. You see where the flesh is warped inward slightly. This appears to be both the ingress and the egress port.
Hmm.
It appears that it leads directly to the man's heart and then directly back out.
Is the
Interesting.
heart still there?
We have not opened him up yet, shall we? Shall we look together?
I can do that. And I pull out the glaive.
No, no.
Okay, well, Gary, I'm as eager as you. But before, let's. Do you mind if I take a quick inspection of the body myself and see if there's anything I might know?
Feel free.
I would love
And he
to.
kind of glides back out of the way.
Hey Gary, do you know anything about bugs?
I know much about what you so insouciantly call bugs. Insects.
Insouciantly.
Yeah, I was
Arachnids.
gonna ask the same thing. Insouciance or no, what kind of bug would do this? Do you have a sense of what kind of bug that is?
Probably a bug that can dig very quickly. I am not certain what type, for I have not seen any pieces or indication of left behind bits of the said bug.
So there's a multitude of bugs that burrow into people and kill them to choose from. Is that what you're saying, or are you saying that it's inconclusive because you'd need to find out? I'm just wondering, like, how many kinds of bugs could this be?
Well,
Fiddle starts
Remember that
flipping through
case
the
we
books
did?
and like mentally counting some things.
He's like,
It was
"There are-"
it was 3 years ago. We had a similar case. They had a hole in their chest. Oh no, that's because he got stabbed. Never mind.
There are 4 species of worm that can do such a thing. The young of the great purple worm certainly could. Let's see, there are probably 4, no, 5 insect species that I can think of. It's not a scourge wound, for a scourge wound would not be so chewed as this. It would be more of a simple tube shaped. No, there, let's see. So that's 9. I can think of at least 9 insectile or worm like creatures. He's just kind of babbling away in the background. What are you looking for?
Unfortunately, I'm getting more and more concerned because I really did not think that there were that many kinds of insects that could burrow into you and then come back out of you in such a horrible way. So, as he rambles on in the background, you just see Bjorn getting more and more horrified as you investigate the body.
Sure.
I got a 17 on my roll to investigate the body, and I'm looking at the wound in the chest, but also his face and facial expression, and then his hands and nails, just to see if there's any sign of, kind of how things played out.
His shirt is definitely torn open by hands, like you don't know if it was him or Liam or somebody else that pulled the shirt and the buttons are all torn off. His chest is just soaked with blood. His hands are soaked with blood, indicating that he had been scrabbling at his chest. Blood coming out of his nose and mouth. There don't seem to be any further wounds on his body. Are you looking for anything else in particular?
Is there any sign of like discoloration, like in veins, or like signs of like blood pooling in a place that would be strange for it to pool, like weird collections of things in the body?
It only happened a couple hours ago, so you would imagine that blood pooling like on his back, since he's just been laying in place, might begin. But nothing else out of the ordinary except for this hole chewed right through him.
It's only been a few hours. It wouldn't pool yet. Goddamn, went to school for this.
Meanwhile, Gary is pulling. He's like, you see him as he's talking about bugs and things. You hear him stropping a knife, and he's got this long, thin blade. Shall we open him up to see if there is a heart?
Does he still have like his clothing? He's still wearing his clothing and stuff like that from okay.
Yeah, they
Before
haven't
we do
undressed
that,
him yet.
I would like to search the body, looking for any notes or anything maybe he had hidden on or about his person. Stuff like that, right? Like, a small note, something hidden in a pocket, something sewn into a seam, something like that, right?
Yeah, do that as you disrobe the body.
Absolutely.
Evidence.
Yeah. He's got a ring on his left pinky. There's no insignia or anything inscribed on the inside of it. He's got a little gold chain around his neck. Take that off. It doesn't seem to be anything special. And he doesn't have any pockets in these clothes. It's just, Liam
Bespoke
Rooks was
trousers.
carrying stuff for him. Yeah. He was dressed in his finery.
Right.
He was on the town.
So nothing sewn into hidden seams or anything like that. I could make an investigation check if you want.
Don't need to. There's nothing. You can easily look at it. It's not like you don't have to be careful at all. There's nothing special.
Makes sense.
I'd very much like to see if he still has his heart in.
Yeah.
So without going into the gruesome details, Gary opens him up. His heart is still intact, but there's a hole punched right through it.
Does it continue beyond the heart, or is it like it got to the heart and then?
It got to the heart, ate a hole in it, and dug its way back out.
Just ate the really juicy bit. Okay.
Huh.
It
It
didn't.
doesn't even seem like there's any pieces missing. Like nothing has been devoured. It's just a rip. The
Gross.
heart has been torn open, and the creature came back out.
It didn't like
Got through the heart.
lay eggs or anything, right?
Do an inspection. You gonna get up in there?
I'll look.
Go ahead.
Grossly, but I'll look.
Inspection.
That's
I'd also like to
investigation.
know.
Yeah. You can have advantage because Gary's helping.
Okay.
He's very intrigued by this possibility.
17.
You don't find that's a good call, but you don't find the sign of anything left behind.
Okay, good. Well, at least it's not multiplying. That's positive. Huh.
Art is carefully folding all of the clothes
So
and,
this
and filling out an evidence form.
now, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong here. And you seem to know many things about bugs, more than I want to know. uh, Most animals, right? If they do something like this, it's usually for food, right? You know, there's going to be something missing, something torn, like something eaten, right? It's unusual that it's just a single puncture wound, right? It's almost like somebody stabbed him with a bug. Right? I mean, that's not how a bug acts, right?
It wasn't a bug, it was a brooch.
From
I
what
mean, it was a bug at the time
understand,
it came out of the man.
it's much as though the creature was not a real creature, more like a construct, a weapon, one might say.
Yeah, but he got
Ghastly.
stabbed with a bug.
Have you heard of something like this before, Gary? You seem so excited. How long have you been doing this job?
Oh, quite a long time.
Gary and I go way back.
Yes, I know this one.
I don't. You know what, Gary?
Very menacing, Gary. And like I also have known Bart for a long time, and we've gone out drinking together. That was unnecessarily creepy, Gary. We've been talking about this.
What can I say? I love my work.
He
That's-
is a very enthusiastic coroner.
You'd like to see someone with a passion for their job. Gary, I noticed as we were taking the corpse that he has blood coming from his nose and mouth. Was there any damage to the lungs that you saw?
Absolutely. Look here. The lungs are in the way. You see, he had to drill through this lung to get to the heart.
See.
Does that make
Fiddles
sense?
flips to like a kind of a fresh page in his book and starts actively sketching out the anatomy that he's seeing. I don't know that Fiddles has really had this kind of access to an autopsy before, and so starts taking detailed notes on the chest cavity.
Are there any other questions I can help you with, or even any deductions? I very rarely get to be involved with the solving of such things.
Can we talk with him?
Yes, Gary, I hope you will help me in this next round of investigation. I'd like very much to speak with this person, if we can. If everybody would
Many
step
times.
back just a little bit.
You know what?
With,
Sounds great.
victim and- you know, I'm actually gonna go freshen up my bean juice. If you guys need anything, any other orders?
I'll have a bean juice, please.
All right,
I would
one
like
bean juice
the bean
for-
juice.
one bean juice for the ghoul, 2 bean juice. All right,
I'm gonna go throw up. Okay, goodbye.
and some water for the rookie to swish. All right, we'll be right back.
He's got mints.
Now, I'd like to caution everybody that we only have a few questions, and we need to be very specific with how we ask them. So please, let's not jump to any question. And he'd like to stretch his hands out and cast Speak with Dead.
Perfect. Question number 1.
Katie, I'm counting to 30 in my head.
What happened with the brooch?
Let's see. The brooch was for Rafferty. I took it to give her, and it killed me.
Where can I find Rafferty?
You can find her in. He rattles off some address. At her home.
What do you know about Nabuli al-Jazafir?
Al-Jazafir runs the extraordinary auction bazaar. He is a fire genasi who has wonderful magic trinkets.
What else have you gotten from the bazaar?
I have taken nothing else from the bazaar, neither bought nor stolen.
Who would want you dead?
I cannot think of any who would wish me dead. Thump.
Okay, well, we have an address. That helps. Fiddles wrote down every word of that as it was happening, for future reference.
Please tell me
Sure to
Fiddles
come
has
up.
the keen mind feat.
No, I went for observant instead. I think that's Gary. Did that awaken anything in you? Did you catch anything in those responses that might,
I feel like that probably did
Roll
awaken a
into-
lot of things in Gary. Gary seems like the kind of guy that you don't want to see down here later when you're not supposed to be here.
Gary says, I didn't find any of those answers at all intriguing. Almost as if this were an accident. How about you?
We got another
certainly
lead.
Don't have any kind of motivation so far. But yes,
Well,
another lead.
Next stop, Fire Genasi.
I agree.
If the girl dies, could you also bring her down here?
Jesus Christ. All right, Gary, bye. See you later, bud.
Good day.
Stay
Yeah,
weird, Gary.
I mean, that's your job.
Yes. Oh, I hope nothing happens to her.
I'm sure she's fine. Here, I put his things in a bag.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
Gary, did the corpse come in here with any other stuff?
I think
Parcels?
It's probably
Packages.
with evidence, not with the body.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks, Gear.
Have a good day. I'll see you soon, Bart. Our dart team is doing quite well. Don't miss our next tournament.
I won't. Beer's on me.
Yeah.
We'll head out and fill Patty and Bjorn in on what we learned from the corpse, and then I guess go meet with the fire ganassi, right?
I just want to point out that I have our Discord here and Twitch over here. So when Sean's cat walked across his screen here, it's like it walked onto the other screen. It was really funny to watch, and I had to share.
He's a magic cat.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good bud. Before
Do we want to
go
stop
talk
by
to-
evidence?
Yeah, before we go talk to the bazaar. Let's I'd like to go over to the evidence locker and just see if we can just go through his stuff real quick.
Easily
I would love to
done.
see if any of it's magical too.
It's a couple shopping bags. Nothing is magical. It's like he's got a belt, a couple pair of socks, and a shirt that he bought in the area.
Can I the ring and the necklace that he had on? Those aren't magical either.
Nope.
No magic, Sean. Okay.
And no insignia or anything on the ring, just a plain ring.
Just a little gold ring.
No like secret inscription on the inside.
No, I'm just giving
Okay.
you that. There's nothing. You'd be wasting your time.
All right.
Thank you, reliable narrator. The investigators knew it would just be a waste of time.
And so they proceeded to go somewhere else. Where are we going?
The bazaar.
Fire genasi, yeah, I reckon so.
Okay. Then to the bazaar we will go. You come to the bazaar. You guys have seen this place before. This is part of your stomping grounds. It's kind of in the art district. There's a lot of little shops. There's a lot of taverns. There's a lot of people that sell different types of art, do magic shows, do theater. Lots of stuff going on. It's a very busy part of town. And the bazaar is a well-known spot. It's a good spot to people go there looking for magical items. He doesn't have everything, but when he does, he puts up an auction, and he usually has an auction at least once every couple weeks, and it does draw the occasional spectator. People it's an interesting thing to go do.
When we get there, is it like, say, I mean, this is a modern analogy, but like a Sotheby's where the auctions are infrequent enough that he would have like a list of the lots that were for sale that day, or a brochure, or something like that, like here are the 20 items that are for sale in this auction type thing?
On the day of, he would probably, but in the meantime, you can just walk into a shop and he's got them on display, things that will be auctioned off the next time.
But today is an auction day, right?
Today was an auction day, yeah.
Are there any flyers around, or like a list of the lots that were for sale?
Sure, you can find a flyer. There's just a random smattering of things that you've heard of, maybe even some things that you own.
Are any of them jewelry, brooches?
Are you in the shop right now, or are you just looking at the list?
We're arriving there, right? So I'm just looking to see. what I'd like to find out is, if I can get this brochure, was this brooch supposed to be for sale today? Is it in the list of auction lots or not?
It is not. It is not.
That's
Would it
what
be
I'm trying to figure
possible?
out.
Could we take a route to get to the bazaar that has us past the crime scene? Is the crime scene still
Sure.
set up, or has it been tidied up by now?
It would have been cleaned up because everything's
Okay.
taken away, but you can get the exact address and you can walk right to it and check it out.
Okay.
It is. Is that what you want to do first?
Yeah, I just want to cast my eyes around real quick and do an investigation to see if there's anything that sticks out that, I don't know, might have triggered something or been left behind by the crime scene crew. It's a 22 investigation.
Since it's been raining, the blood has run off. Not too many people, but in the streets in the rain. But there are people who are watching you. You see people who are definitely noticing because they experienced it. It's just a place on the street. You're about 2 blocks from the bazaar. It's a small street that people walk down. There aren't any carts and buggies and horses going. It's a walking street with shops on both sides. Some clothing shops. There's a tavern on the corner. Just a normal area of town that you know very well.
Okay. All right, I'm not really looking to interrogate anybody here. Just kind of get some eyes on our way to the bazaar,
Okay.
so we can head over there.
Anyone else?
And look for a flyer.
Yeah, no, especially not if it's been raining and we've had it's been hours since the thing or whatever. There's probably not a lot to see there. And actually, just on our way by, I would like to just look around, noticing the people that are noticing us, right? That are looking at things. Do any of them not look like your average shopkeeper / traumatized citizen / passerby? Does that make, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, obviously, the shopkeepers who were here, folks who were kind of in the area seeing another round of the city watch coming by, might kind of look to see if anything was going on, right? But is there somebody else that maybe doesn't fit that description that's looking at me as well?
You can roll an investigation or, I guess, insight, just to kind of take a glance around and see intentions.
Okay. I will use investigation, and with my keen eye, I get advantage on investigation checks as long as I have not moved this round. So I really just leaned hard into Skill Monkey Rogue. Double 11s for a 21.
Okay, 21's pretty darn good.
Yes, all right.
You notice a lot of people that look like the typical like oglers of crime scenes. Like, they've got a lot to say. They would love to give you all the same information over and over and tell you how it makes them feel. Nobody's coming out into the like the misty rain right now to offer information to you, but there are people like looking around and talking to each other. There's some more cops out there, that type of thing. You don't notice anybody who is acting aloof or just doesn't care, or that has turned around and walked away from you. It just seems like normal.
Your standard,
like
standard
you've
rubberneckers.
experienced this many times.
Gotcha.
Anytime.
Yep. Makes sense.
But you're welcome to talk to them if you want.
No, that told me kind of what I wanted to know, at least for the moment.
Okay.
I think we got the most important eyewitness, at least for the moment.
Okay. So we're going to
The bazaar.
what it's called, yeah. I want to give you the
Nabuli's
exact.
World of Wonders or something like that. Nabuli's Bazaar of the Extraordinary. Here we are.
Here we go. Yep. So you go up there, and of course the door is now shut and locked. What would you like to do?
Lead the way, Rook.
The door's locked.
Mr. Pembley Smythe finds Blackwood Montague. Would you knock for us kindly, please?
Yeah.
Just open-handed one slap on the door.
In 5 rates, you hear rapidly tapping feet coming from the other side, and the door cracks open. You see, let me read his description.
He knocks like a cop.
I mean, he is a cop.
Yeah. You see an overweight merchant. He has tan skin and fluffy, fiery hair. He's wearing a blue tunic with silver piping, and he's got matching pants. He's holding a gold inlaid scepter that's in the shape of a dragon, and he is wide-eyed and instantly, like, almost happy to see you guys. He's like, "Oh, finally!" He twirls his mustache. Welcome, welcome, come on, please. What can I do to help?"
May we enter the premises, sir?
"Absolutely. I was waiting and waiting. Finally, you're here. Come on in."
I put my hand on Bart's leg. Before we come in, we have to tell you we are cops.
I can tell by your uniforms, yes.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, I just have a leather baldric over a bare chest with a big badge over the right nipple.
Your nipple's pierced. That's what you put the badge through.
Right. Has to stay on.
Ugh.
Them pepperonis gotta be pierced.
Please, come on in. I am very happy you finally arrived. What
Can you please
I
tell
do
us
to
who
help?
you are, sir, and what happened today? In your own words, please.
Yes, it's quite difficult to put it all into words, but
One moment, sir.
yes.
Before we get into the interrogation, I have to do my part first. Is there anyone else in the premises?
Mm-hmm.
Why, absolutely. My butler and my housekeeper are both here.
Could you please
You
ask
have-
them to come downstairs?
Please have them come downstairs. Do you have any weapons on the premises?
I do. I am a spellcaster. I am happy to inform you of that. I can cast spells that can do damage. I do sell magical items, so some of them could potentially be used as weapons. Just a moment. Let me go. Is it okay if I walk away and call my...
Nope. I'll go get them.
How about this? There is a bell just... Do you see the cord hanging from the cord hanging there next to the curtain?
Yep.
Please be gentle. Just a slight tug will ring the bell. You don't have to rip it from the wall.
He shakes it back and forth.
Yeah, the bell tinkles, and the butler shuffles up first, and after a couple minutes, this small dwarven lady with unkempt hair shuffles in also.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be keeping you all in separate rooms and questioning you individually. I'll take you, sir, and if you could lead me to the kitchen. And someone should take the dwarven lady, and Fiddles, you should probably question him. Also, and he reaches into his bag again, fiddles around a little bit, pulls out a small sack and says, "When you find the brooch, put it in here."
Oh, the brooch. I can look. The brooch is right.
Don't
If
touch
you
it.
come with me.
Where's it?
You have the brooch.
Yes, of course I do.
What do you mean? Of course you do.
Yeah, so I would very much like to hear in your words how you came into possession of that brooch.
Oh yeah,
separate
we
them
gotta
first.
separate it. Don't feed him.
Kitchen, please.
They're all
Sir, when was
standing
the
there
last time you purchased
looking
bread?
at each other. They're all looking at each other like, what are we supposed to do? We're getting all these instructions not to move,
Right.
to take him to the kitchen, to answer questions.
No, he doesn't move. Butler, you go with big guy over here. Don't feed him. He doesn't need to eat again. He's like a gremlin. I think they turn if you feed them after a certain time. You know. Uh um Bjorn, can you
Yes.
take this lovely dwarven lady to the other room?
Nothing would make me happier, Rook.
Uh
And I just kind of roll my eyes and usher her towards the other way.
She's wearing like ratty slippers and a house dress,
Yeah,
shuffling
it's
along.
just like I am aware that Nabuli is the one we really need to be talking about, and I am just babysitting this person in the other room, which is why I am being very sarcastic about being excited to go in the other room and rolling my eyes at you when I leave.
you don't have to like stay with her. She just needs to go. You can come back. He's gonna go eat.
I just kind of wait. Thanks, Rook. Appreciate the permission. I sort of wave.
Does he want me to be in charge? Does he not want me to be in
Listen,
charge?
can
I don't understand.
Can I interject here? Can I please interject? I'm so happy you're here. Feel free to look around. When you're ready, I would like you to come with me to the vault. You can see how unlikely it is. The circumstances of the death. The vault is where the brooch is usually kept. It is a very dangerous brooch, and I have no idea how that young man got it out of my vault. I'll be quite honest with you.
Who has access to your vault other than you?
No one. Only I. It's arranged that way.
Can I, is he being truthful about that?
Inside him.
What do you mean, no jam?
Okay, so I get a +6.
There's
Ooh,
marmalade,
13.
not jam, but marmalade.
Who wants peels in their jam? That's nasty.
13.
What marmalade is?
You can't tell. He seems like he's telling you the truth.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, I guess.
I would very much like to see that vault, but first, I would like you to tell me what
Absolutely,
transpired today.
Today. Well, let me tell you about my day. I spent the morning preparing for the auction. I went to the vault early this morning. I got things out that I intended to put up for auction. I went back to my office. Ronald, I think his name's Ronald. Ronald here. Ronald, my butler, can vouch for all of these things. I sat in my office, I did the paperwork, and I came out and did the auction, and then screams in the street. I rushed out to see what happened, and I saw my brooch. Yes, it's my brooch sitting on this young man's chest. That's all I can tell you.
And
And
you thought it
then-
would be a good idea at that point to disturb an active crime scene and take the brooch away from that? That was
Absolutely. If someone else had picked it up, it would have killed them.
I mean,
Why? What is the brooch? Tell us more about the.
This is called the Scarab of Death. This brooch
wow, he said the thing.
This is,
Cannot-
pretty on the fucking nose there, yeah.
if someone picks it up, and walks away, after 1 minute it will attack them, dig into their bodies, destroy their heart, and crawl back out and become a brooch, which is what happened to this young man. I know how to collect it. It's in this little box. You can see the little white box over there on the shelf. Do you see it? That's where the brooch is. I wouldn't take it out of there if I were you, but you may open the box and look at it. Just don't put it in your hand. I had to scoop it into the box myself. I knew you were coming back. Thank you for coming back, so you can absolve me. I am not at fault here.
Why do you have it?
Well, it's a fantastical item, and I have many such things. It was in my vault. It wasn't
got
like lying about so someone could be killed instantly.
How many things of death would you say that you have on a conservative estimate? You got like
mean
the
at the
cake of
moment?
death. Yeah. I mean things that you could just look at and die.
Well, it has to be activated. It was in a containment. It was in its box.
Where did you get it?
Well, that's a long story, and he starts.
Make it real short.
Going well, it was a gift, a sort of a protection thing, if you put it by the side of your bed, and if a thief comes in and steals it, they will die. But I never used it such. It was something I found in far-off Kalashan, and very short. It was a gift, probably 30 years ago, and it's been with me in my secretive vault ever since. The vault is in a magical dimension that only I can access.
Would you... Okay, I know you said that you're the only one who can access this vault.
Right.
Would you mind if we tried to access this vault to see if it's possible? Because clearly it got out of the vault somehow. And if you're the only one with access to the vault, it's not looking good for you.
I understand.
We have eyewitness testimony that says that he picked it up on the floor in here.
On the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's impossible.
That doesn't sound very secure to me.
That's impossible. That's impossible.
What about the other items that you collected for auction today? Is it
They were
possible
all-
that in scooping up these things, you accidentally scooped up the box with a scarab? Like, how is it secured in your...
I make a mistake? No, that's...
You're-
Especially with something of this... No, that's not possible.
I mean,
Well, you've already
humanoid...
removed one item from a crime scene and thus committed a crime
yeah.
against code legal.
I would like
say
to
it's possible.
I would like to insight check that.
Go for it. Go for it.
Humanoid error is very common.
18.
I rolled a 3 again. He 100% believes that he could not make such an egregious error.
Bjorn, you are crafty. Could you see if you can break into this vault? See if it's actually possible?
We could take a look.
Yeah.
Can you lead us to the vault?
Absolutely. Yes. I must insist that you do everything in your possible that you can to absolve me of this. I am not at fault. Do you know who the young boy was? My God, his father would have me destroyed. I will be dead by tomorrow if it comes down to me being at fault here. That cannot happen.
So, if it is in your best interest to be absolved here, if you can think of any way somebody might be able to access the vault without your knowledge, without your cooperation, that would really help. Like a loophole, something we could maybe use to help you out, right?
I'm racking my brains here.
You know,
Please help me figure it out.
You know who we report to, right? I want to help you here. I want to help you here.
And I want you
But you
to.
gotta help us, Cthulhu. You gotta help us.
Absolutely, I'm doing my very best. What more can I do? Please,
Well,
let's
let's
go.
start with
Let's
the
go.
vault.
Yes, yes, yes. Follow me. Is it okay? And he looks over at Bart, who might be peeking around the corner, mouthful of food. Is it okay to move?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes. Right this way. He leads you down a wide. The stairs go down to a wide hallway underground. There's a
I'll
stone
follow
arch.
behind.
Stone arch filled with swirling orange-brown smoke on the other side of the arch. Um, it's just swirling orange-brown smoke. You can't see through it. Um, uh, now, listen. You can try to walk through there. There is a glyph of warding on there, and if someone goes through without me with them, there will be a huge spell, a trap, a cloud of poison gas that will explode here if I don't go through.
So that's the only defense is poison. You could just walk through. If I could breathe poison or didn't need to breathe at all, I could just walk in.
Put a
Well,
mask on.
there's also a glyph of warding on it.
Oh, that's a lot of, can you tell if this glyph of warding is currently intact?
It's a good question. I have checked it. I appreciate your questioning. I inspected it earlier. Everything is still in place. There is no smoke residue. The traps are still in place. I have passed through it myself.
Liar. I'd like to make
Liar!
I'd like to make an are you
Objection!
lying check. I'd like to make an are you lying check, please.
Sure.
18, turns out.
As far as you can tell, he is he's doing his best to tell the truth right now.
Hmm,
It is absolutely wild having a skill floor of 18.
Yeah.
bitch.
I don't think I can do
How
anything else except for skill checks, but
how does the vault know if you are passing through with somebody? Is it looking for your mystical aura? Is it looking for a ring that you wear?
Hmm.
Well, let me be clear. Let me be frank and honest as possible. If you pass through and survive the glyph of warding and the cloud of poison gas, I have a failsafe on the other side. There is a giant iron golem who reports directly to me, protecting all of my goods on the inside. If you come through with me, all is well. Would you?
you didn't answer the question. How does it know it's you?
It's attuned to me. I made it, and it's all. It was a complicated process.
Yeah, but like the glyph, is there like you said, is there like you said, is there a ring? Is there or is it just attuned to your heebie-jeebies there?
It's me. It's me. It is my body that enables the spells to remain in place. I've used it hundreds, literally, maybe thousands of times. I travel in and out of my vault at will. And
Where
it's never gone
is
off.
where is your vault physically located?
It's a pocket dimension of its very own, much like a giant bag of holding or something like this. Would you like to come in and see? Or
Yes.
would you like to try without me? I
No.
will
No,
back-
after hearing
would.
about no.
Well, while you disarm, I would like to. I'm not gonna necessarily try to pass the barrier, but as he's kind of, I would like to spend a little time investigating to see has the glyph been tampered with. Are there any signs of something kind of out of the ordinary here in this hallway?
Sure.
That type of thing.
Can you roll
Me
an Arcana
too.
check? Anyone who
can.
wants to can roll an Arcana check.
I
I
can
would
roll an Arcana check. It's not as. It's one of the few skills that I don't get an automatic 18 in. 17.
27.
Oh,
13.
Was an 18.
Jesus.
Studied a lot.
As best
6.
you can tell, as you're studying this, El Jasafir Nabuli says, "Would you like me to approach so that you'll see the sigils responding, or would you like me to stay out of the way? Or can we
First
Out of
the
the way.
second, and
Out of
then
the-
after a few moments, the first.
Out of
Right.
the way for a minute, if you please, while the experts
All right.
take a look here.
He backs up. You look. You can tell through your magical sensibilities somehow that there are powerful magical spells resting in this field of smoke.
All right, Mr. Al-Jazafir, you can step closer, slowly, please.
Yeah, and he keeps his hands up all the time as if you're holding a gun to him. He goes up, and you can see these little runes or sigils light up as he's pressing into the smoke. You see, it's noticing me and deactivating for the moment. We can pass through if you wish, if you come with me. Or, we could easily come right back out. I'm not trying to lure you into my trap. I'm just saying we can go in and out if I'm here.
What an interesting choice of words.
I know what you're thinking. I would be thinking it myself.
Have I ever seen this type of glyph of warding and these types of protections used before? With the 27?
Roll a history.
Ooh. Okay, I'm good at that too.
If anyone would like to.
Oh, that's a nat 20 plus 10 for a total of 30.
You would have maybe seen this a couple times. You would have heard of them. It's probably something that wealthier arcane users would have access to. It's like something that's attuned to them, something that's very powerful and will either kill or chase off people who are trying to break in, and probably will be loud enough to attract attention, and you'd know that something was happening. It wouldn't be an unusual thing.
Okay.
It's only unusual because it would be expensive.
Sure.
Have you brought anybody into the vault with you in the last 24 hours?
Well, Ronald has been in with me once or twice in the past, but usually only me. In the past 24 hours, no one. Only I went in there this morning, early, and that was it, just once.
Do you do like an inventory check of your items regularly? Like,
Absolutely.
was the
Absolutely.
Scarab there this morning?
It was.
So, what I'm gathering is in the last 24 hours, no one but you has been in here. No one but you can get in here. Do you see where I'm having a hard time believing that you didn't have anything to do with this?
He crumbles. You can see him crumbling. But Ronald can tell you. Jasmine, the housekeeper, can tell you. I was in my study all day up until the auction. They can vouch for me.
Another question. Is there a chance that the Scarab could have like gotten caught on like your outfit or something and maybe just accidentally come out of the room with you?
His face kind of, for a moment, as he's considering maybe it just stuck to him somehow. But that would mean no. No. I don't think so. Let me show you inside the vault and you'll see it's got its own little shelf, its own little box. There's no way. I don't think it could have been possible.
I mean, if whenever we're ready, I'm happy to go in.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
let's step in and you can show us exactly what you mean.
Okay. It's
Bart, can you go first?
Yup.
Thanks, big guy.
oh,
Duck
you'll
his
have to
head
come
below the.
with me. He'll kind of grab
Yeah,
your
hold
sleeve.
hands.
Yeah.
I'll daisy chain our hands.
Yeah. Once I go through, it'll be inactive for 5 seconds or so. So he goes in.
I'm sorry,
holding
hang
up-
on. That seems like a relevant piece of information. There's like a brief window of time around when you go through that it
5
considers, oh, well, they're
seconds.
with you.
I've never tested it
Hmm.
exactly, and I've never taken a large group with me. That's why I'm saying, let's perhaps touch.
Yeah,
I
all
don't-
right, all right.
Don't be too far behind me.
Mm-hmm,
I would say you have time to take a few steps.
Bart, you
Can
look
I
like you're getting a headache.
arcanely watch as we go through and just kind of keep an eye out for that? What kind of a window we
Absolutely.
have?
Yeah. Yep. You step through. It's like 3 seconds tops.
Okay.
On the inside, there is a huge iron golem, like maybe 10 feet tall, 6 feet wide, solid iron. He says, "This is Mugabu. Mugabu, these are my friends. This is Officer number 1, Officer 2, 3, and 4. And they are with me." Mugabu says, "I understand."
Macabre.
Now, how
You,
long does his understanding last? If one of us were to find our way in here later, remember?
I'm sorry, ask that again, please.
If what is your golem's memory like? If one of us were to find our way in here later, would he remember us and be cool with us?
Yes,
Now,
he can speak. I can stand back and let you interview Mugabu if you'd like.
Yeah, I would love that.
Um,
I'm gonna climb up onto Bart to try and get like eye level.
yeah.
Hello,
Officer
Mugabu.
3.
affected as you usurp my mouth, but that's okay.
Hello, Officer 3.
Mugabu, who have you seen today?
I have seen Nabuli.
Do you see invisible things?
That's a good question. I don't know that about golems. Let me look real quick. They have blind sight. Hold, please. Looking. Talk amongst yourselves.
Please stand by. DM is loading.
Yeah. I don't think they do. I have never seen an invisible thing.
That you know
you
of.
Would you say you have real good hearing?
I hear very well. I can hear you, Officer 2.
Very good. Did you hear anything else today? Anything unusual? Another set of footsteps when you saw Nabuli?
No, only Nabuli was here.
How many times today did you see Naboo?
Nabuli entered this vault 1, 2 times.
It's the second time just now.
This being the third time.
Hmm.
Tell us about the second time you saw Naboo today. What did he do?
The second time Nabuli came in, he took a small piece of jewelry and left.
I'm gonna turn around real slow and look at Nabuli.
One meaty hand just on top of Nabuli's head.
Now, Mr. Al Jazafir, I want to be very clear with you right now.
His
The
eyes
punishment-
wide and he's starting to cry.
The punishment outlined in the Code Legal of Waterdeep for the murder of a noble is death. I would like very much to know the truth of what happened today. So I need you to be very clear with me. Did you come into your vault a second time after you prepared for the auction this morning? You told us you came in this morning prepared for the auction. That's one. Did you re-enter the vault after that?
He falls to his knees. He says, I swear I did not. I swear I did not. Mugabu, why are you saying these things? I was not here. Ask the butler. Ask the housekeeper. I did not come back in.
I would like to insight check that.
No, that
I'd
wouldn't
like
make
to
sense.
I'd like to make a lying liar check.
I'd like
18
to roll
turns
an
out.
18.
It's weird. It's really weird how it keeps turning into an 18. I don't know how that happens.
As far as you can tell, he is perfectly honest.
What if?
I will kind of turn back around to Mugabu. How long was it between the first and the second visits today?
It was roughly 3 hours.
When did you open for business, Mr. Al-Jafir here?
You mean for the auction?
Yeah.
11 a.m. or whatever the fantasy time equivalent is.
Very good. And about what time would you say that you started preparing for the auction this morning?
I came in at probably just after dawn, as soon as I awakened.
Was there anybody invited into the bazaar before you opened for business today?
Absolutely not. That would be highly irregular.
Who has ever been in the vault with you? You said Richard or Ronald.
Ronald.
You said your
only
butler Ronald.
and
Only ever
once or
Ronald.
twice. Correct.
Never a sweet young thing that you were trying to impress. Never a buyer who wanted to pick up the item from themselves. There's never been anybody but you and Ronald in here.
Officer 3, the way to keep
I was going to introduce ourselves, but it's actually more funny.
Yes.
This way, so I'm rolling with it.
Officer 3, the best way to keep things safe forever is to only allow yourself access. I don't care who, my mother, my child, no one comes in here except only Ronald once or twice, and that was only because I couldn't carry things myself.
Do you have children and/or a mother?
I do have a mother. I do not have any children.
Right.
A father?
How many ways into the building
I-
are there aside from the door?
Windows, windows on the first floor only, because there is there is a. Let me see. I think there's 3 floors. Windows on all floors, and the doorway is pretty much it. Yep.
Bart leans down to Fiddles really close and says, "Maybe he knows the girl."
Mr. Al Jazafir, does the name Raffer mean anything to you?
No, I've never heard that name.
Okay.
When you
I mean,
say
I've heard the name. I just don't know anyone named that.
when you say that the vault needs you to open, is it like it just has to look like you, or it like has to like be you?
It
So
has
if
to
I
be
was
me. I don't
like a
exactly know how magic completely works, how it knows what it knows, but it
Mhm.
knows who I am.
I was
don't
on the
think
same.
anyone who was disguised as me could get in. You're welcome to try it, but I'm pretty sure they would die.
Yeah, no thank you. Hmm. Mr. Iron Golem Man, was the jewelry in question a bug brooch?
I am not certain what that means. A bug brooch.
I point to where the scarab is. Was it that?
He points to a little empty, a clear empty container on a shelf. It was in this box.
What was
Can I
in?
dust
glass.
for
Little
fingerprints?
glass container. Sure.
Do you have fingerprint dust
Isn't there a
and tape?
spell that's basically that?
Let's
I
say
mean,
with a high enough
I'm a
investigation.
detective.
Yeah. Let's say
I'll
with a high
cast
enough
detect
investigation, you can
fingerprints.
find fingerprints.
Fingerprinting wasn't invented.
We don't know what time
well,
this
I'm
is.
very clever, so it's an 18 on investigation.
18. Let's say that since it is a glass container, you can find fingerprints and compare them. There's a lot of glass containers in here. They all are Nabali's fingerprints.
All similar fingerprints. Okay.
What was in this empty box?
Who are you asking? Nabali?
Nabuli.
Yeah, that's exactly where the brooch was, the Scarab of Death.
Oh, so you did take it out.
I did no.
He said you took it out. He's your lackey. He said you took it out. It's
I did not.
empty. Where's the scarab now?
not.
I thought you said it was supposed to be here.
Yes, it's in the. I showed you.
Oh, you
what's in the
showed it. Yeah,
box
you
in
showed
the
Oh
us
other
yeah,
room.
yeah. You're right. I forgot. Listen, I'm new to the job. I'm a little stressed out.
Your
Where
name
were
should
you?
not be officer number 1 then. Perhaps you're officer number 4.
No. Number 1's fine.
Where were you before you opened the doors at around, say, 11, 10 o'clock?
Before that, I was in my office, doing paperwork and preparing.
And you didn't leave your office at all after your trip to the vault?
I did not.
And
And
your
can your-
servants will corroborate that you were in your office the whole
Feel
time.
free. He looks at the golem and he shakes his head and he says, "Feel free to ask them whatever. I suppose maybe it could have been me. I don't know. That seems impossible."
Mr. Al-Jazafir, is there anything else missing from the vault? Or was it just the scarab?
Only the scarab. I came to check.
In this box?
Oh, actually, he would have been in here since the death too. So add one more time because he came in to check for what was missing. He said only the scarab. So he's actually, this is his third time in, but the creature says it would be his fourth time in.
And where were your servants while you were in your office? Were they doing servanting? I know you don't keep up with them. But they were in the
Servanting.
house. They weren't in the office with you. They were doing a job in the house.
They didn't have eyes on you that entire time.
I mean, I suppose.
Might they have seen another you enter the vault?
Another me?
But if he was
it
mind controlled,
I suppose I should.
or maybe a doppelganger.
Maybe I shouldn't assume I know anything. Maybe you should ask them.
Did you talk
He
to
looks-
anybody else today? Before the auction opened, any visitors? Anybody came by earlier in the day? Anybody want to come in early? Want to look at the wares?
As you keep asking him, he looks more and more beaten. He says, "No, I was alone."
Do you remember the entire time in the office? Did you fall asleep or anything like that? Or is there a block of time that you can't recall?
No, I believe I was simply there doing my work.
Two questions. First question, can this guy leave?
The golem?
Yes, he could leave. I don't know that I could. Yes, I could probably get him back in.
I'm just wasn't sure if he had like in and out access or like could stick his hand through the field and drop something on the floor or something like that.
Guess potentially he could. Anyone can leave.
Mm,
It is the getting back in. I assume if his hand went through, pulling it back in would trigger the alarm.
Okay, hold on a second.
Doesn't
Hold
mean-
on a second. You're saying anybody can leave. There's nothing, as long as they got in here with you somehow, they can
And
leave
get
any
killed
possible
by-
way.
If they got in somehow, and Mugabu did not destroy them, because he is. You may ask him what he would.
Oh,
do if
that's
something
fair.
got in.
What have you added any items? Do you have any new acquisitions, say in the last week?
Many. I'm constantly
Hmm.
purchasing new things and reselling them.
But
For
nothing's
quite the profit.
missing.
how do we
Only
know
the
that's the scarab that came out of the boy's chest?
The one in the other room in the box is the one I picked up off the boy's chest. I came in here to
Examining
make
that
sure
would be good.
it was mine or not, and mine was missing. So they're very rare.
Do you have pets by chance?
I do not.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking, like sometimes if all anybody has to do is be touching you to get through all the defenses and it seems like they came with you, I've heard of like people who can shapeshift into animals. So maybe you had a hitchhiker or something like that could potentially have been a thing, but I don't know any of those people.
Magabu, when you saw Mr. Al Jazafir come in the time in question, did he come through the portal?
He did.
Okay.
And he was
Did he
always by
go-
himself.
He was.
Did he go directly to the Scarab?
He did not.
He
What
went
else did he do?
around?
He came in that particular circumstance. The second time he entered today, he rubbed his hands together. He looked around. He looked at several items. He acted surprised. He grabbed the scarab, piece of jewelry, and rushed out of the room
With his bare hands?
with his bare hands.
Okay.
Didn't he say that as soon as you touch it, it'll kill you after a minute?
1 minute. 1 minute.
Hmm.
It's time to get a couple of blocks away.
Something
Is there
doesn't
a
make sense to Bart.
That's
Bart.
not new.
Uh,
A lot of things don't make sense.
why were you where the body was found?
Because there was such a commotion. Everyone heard it. The doors were open. The auction had just ended. There were screams. I went out to see, as most people would, what the commotion was. They were screaming from quite a distance, and when I went there and I saw the scarab lying on the boy's chest, I took it so that it wouldn't be harmful to anyone else.
The auction had just ended when the screams started.
Very shortly after.
Interesting. What time would you say was the auction happening?
The auction went off precisely at I say precisely, half an hour before midday. It lasted precisely 1.5 hours before the auction ended. I can show you my books. I can show you what was sold and how much money was taken in.
I would
can
love
tell
to
you
see
the
that
names of the people
another time.
who bid on the items.
Did Aaron Littlehorn bid on any item?
The boy
Yes.
who was no, he did not.
Is there a way to stop the Scarab killing you in a minute that you know of? Like if I picked it up but then I dropped it, you obviously know how to handle it. If I knew something about the Scarab, could I pick it up?
You not with your bare hands. If you held it for a minute, it would destroy you.
But if I
you held it
dropped
for-
it after 30 seconds, say if I picked it up in your vault and went and dropped it on the floor out in your living room, 15, 20 seconds tops, would I be dead?
You would not, no. It would just
Be in your
And-
living room.
inert, yes.
If I
And,
put it in my pocket and I wasn't touching it anymore, would I be dead?
If it were on your person, yes, it would drill in.
But
through you.
theoretically, if I knew something about this bug brooch, I could pick it up and I could put it down in 30 seconds and I could pick it up and I could hot potato it right out the door.
I suppose one could figure something out.
You
Yeah.
The box that you keep it in, is that a specially made item that allows you to transport it? Like if I was carrying the box that it was in, right? You said you scooped it off the body into the box?
Believe, I haven't done much research in these regards, but I believe any way of not touching impenetrable surface, like a box. I'm not sure about a bag. I wouldn't trust it. But a box, a small box, I believe any box would do as long as it was not touching your body.
You went to get the scarab from the boy's chest.
Oh, yes. I took it from
The-
his chest.
The scarab was on his chest.
It was.
Where did you get the box?
I had it on me. It was in one of my pockets. See, uh, look in my robe pocket here. I have several boxes. They contain rings and jewels and this and that, of which I'm constantly moving around and placing here and there.
So this is not necessarily the box that you had it in when it was stored in the vault.
The box that it was stored in is there, still on the shelf. It's the glass box.
Gotcha. Okay.
Damn, I'm a fucking horrible cop.
I'd like to
Please,
talk to the
please.
butler.
I am in. Yes, I've been. You've got me thinking that I am at fault here, and I don't understand how. Please talk to the.
Did you want to confess?
We're really good cops.
Yeah. We're so good that you're guilty and you know it.
Stop resisting.
I would, Mr. Al Jazafir, I am very sorry to inform you that at the moment you are our major suspect. It certainly, you have been essentially accused by your Iron Golem of committing this crime, of taking this and making it available to this poor young boy. Now, I am not content with probably. I need to get to the truth of the matter, but I also cannot allow you to escape. So I do believe that we should put this man into restraints as we discuss with his house servants their experience of the day.
I'm not going anywhere.
Sir, as you are a spellcaster, I will need to blindfold you, gag you, and tie your fingers separately.
He starts crying.
Until we can determine the truth of the matter, at which point justice will be served, I can.
Okay, you bind him. He is now bound.
Bart takes off a sock, puts one in his mouth, the other sock over his head.
God.
Patty's just like
Dirty sock.
furiously flipping through pages like, I don't think this is in the book. I don't think we can do this. I have
And then
a
he's-
wand of paralysis.
He pulls out twine and binds the fingers separately, like into Spock hands.
God, we're gonna owe this man so much money when he sues the shit out of us.
It's all right. He's good friends with the chief. Nothing can go wrong.
All right.
The shortest
fair, this is-
career.
This is
Honestly, this is
fine.
probably
You know what?
standard procedure for a spellcaster. Like, if you're
Real
gonna
quick-
restrain them,
Yeah.
you need to blind them, gag them, and make it so they can't do somatic components.
Mr. Pembley, Smythe, Fine, Blackwood, Montague, before you gag him,
It's Detective Inspector.
I
Esquire.
roll up the sock and pull the one sock out of his mouth.
I was being informal. Mr. Al Jazafir, how do you know the Constable Cathon? Bernard Cathon? What's your relationship?
What did you say? Please unplug my ears. It's very muffled.
Just kind of like grab the top of the sock and pull so his whole head elongates as it's coming off.
Ew.
His hair's
That's
like a big
disgusting.
flame, like on a candle.
Oh God, burnt, smelly sock. Ooh.
Mr. Cathont and I, he was a friend of mine. As I came into town, we were members of a bridge club, and we have come closer and become acquaintances since then.
So you're telling me the chief plays bridge?
We're never gonna let him down. That's an old people sport.
No, what do you mean plays? We visit bridges and learn about them.
That's even worse.
We learn the construction.
Actually, are you accepting new members to this bridge
There
club?
is-
That kind of sounds great.
There is a
Always.
bridge
It's very-
watching.
It's very difficult to get members, please.
They're bridgers.
Fiddle shows you some drawings of bridges from one of the books. He's very proud of.
I do have a book upstairs that he has looked at extensively with me.
Well, you are still technically like under arrest for now.
I understand. Oh,
Being
Yeah.
Jump.
God, you could fit so much in there. I guess we leave. We need to look at the beetle. Let's go look at this
Yeah.
beetle.
Yeah, investigating the beetle would be a good idea. It should be covered in blood, at least,
Maybe.
right?
We don't know how magical murder bugs work.
Yeah.
He could have cleaned it.
If it worked at all.
What kind of fucking freak takes a
Okay, then he
murder
is
weapon
gonna
from
be
the crime
arrested for
scene?
hampering an investigation. I swear to
real?
God.
He's still getting arrested. He
be-
tampered
Well,
with the
yeah.
crime scene.
Yeah.
To be fair, if I knew that a weapon of mass destruction had just fallen on the street, I might pick it up too. Like, you
if
know,
the cop had
I'm-
picked it up, they'd be dead.
But
And
you
several of
stand
them.
there. You stand there and you point
Yeah.
at it and say, "Hey, don't touch that."
Yeah, you
I
don't seem
think
proud.
it was a good decision. I'm saying I can understand.
Also, he had the box. All he had to do was put it in the box and then stand there until a cop came.
Well, you think he'd want the robbery solved, right? If somebody stole your thing, don't you want to find out why and how that happened?
If you were the only person with access to the murder weapon, would you want that murder weapon found before you had time to think about it?
If I wasn't the murderer, I'd want to know how somebody got that out of my secure vault.
In his defense,
And he was excited to see us.
extremely happy. Yes. that
Yeah,
y'all
that's
showed
fair.
up.
Yeah.
So the scarab
Well, and the constable knew that he picked it
looks like it's made of shiny, carved green jewels with a little red head, and holding it all together is gold. It just looks like a fancy brooch.
But it's clean.
Shaped like a beetle. It's clean.
up. Can I? Okay, I'm going to. I have a similar stick as the one that Gary had that he was poking cadavers with. And I would like to very gingerly flip over the scarab and look at its underside with a pin.
There's a pin there. There's nothing to see except it's like a flat side of gold with a pin.
No blood, no runes, no inscriptions.
Do an investigation.
Would love to do that. That is
The interaction with
a
prestidigitation and luminol.
16.
16. In the joint of the pin that opens and closes on the brooch, you can see some tiny, minuscule amount of dried blood.
Somebody ask the sock guy if he cleaned it.
Bart?
Lift. Pull. Did you clean the brooch?
Please. What? Get here.
Roll it up over the air. Did you clean the brooch?
Oh, I did not. Apparently it's self...
No.
Oh,
Okay,
sounds
okay,
okay. I
alright.
heard part of self, so it sounds like it cleans itself, but not very well, I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody would have had to know the kid well enough to know that he'd be tempted by a piece of jewelry for his lady.
Wouldn't
It was a lady.
everyone be tempted for a piece of jewelry, though?
No, but I mean, think about it. It's a kid who comes to here, he can't buy anything, and then all of a sudden, a fancy piece of jewelry for his lady love is directly in front of him. It's like it's like one of those, like, it's like an offer you can't refuse. You know what I mean? It's like, he wasn't a thief, but there's temptation, right? I mean, you had to know the kid to know that he'd pick it up, right? If you were gonna kill him
Maybe.
with it.
You guys notice that standing over on the side is the butler, just hands behind his back, just listening and watching all this interaction.
Ronald. That is your name, isn't it, Ronald?
I am Ronald
Ronald, what's your last name?
Walrut.
Ronald Walt. Mr. Walrut, what can you tell me about what happened? Your own words, your own experience of what happened, not what anybody's told you, but what was your experience today?
Well, there is something that happened that I found quite unusual today. I saw Mr. El Jassafir running through the streets this morning at an unusual hour. I would say well before the auction. He was running through the streets wearing a very unusual jacket or a gown or something that he would not usually wear, and he was covered with blood.
Did he come back into the house with this blood outfit?
He did not. I only saw him run past.
Would you say this was before dawn? Before he came in to open the auction house for the day?
No. It was between his waking, I thought he was up in his office doing some work or something like this. I was out running errands, and he goes flying by on the street, bloody chest, wearing an outlandish garb, and did not come back.
What direction was he running from?
And two.
That is a good question. He was not running to or from here. He was going perpendicular and several streets away. I could show you, I suppose.
I think it would probably be helpful.
You said his chest was covered in blood?
Yes, it was. But even more unusual was the purple Valentina tunic that he was wearing. Quite outlandish.
Valentina tunic? Is that generally men's wear, women's wear?
It is. You recognize the name Valentina as a maker of the most ostentatious, like over-the-top, weird, like, I don't know.
Kind of like Lou.
Very, very unusual for a person to just, it's almost like costume.
Like a maximalist outfit.
Exactly. Like things that models on the runway wear that nobody really would wear.
Have we seen that kind of tunic anywhere today? Like on a dead guy? Okay. That's very strange.
Not in the set of items that were purchased by Aaron at the marketplace either.
I spent the rest of the day, once I got back from errands, setting up for the auction and ushering clients, standing by the door. Nothing unusual other than this.
Between those times, when did you meet back up with Mr. Al-Jafahir again? Did he come out of his office? Did he come into the house?
Oh, yes, he was. When I got back, he was, I suppose, working in his office. I was just going about my job, as we do every single time. I did my part. He came down when it was his time, and everything went off without a hitch until right at the end when we heard the screaming in the streets.
You did not check on him when you got back?
Oh, no, there is no need. He is usually working alone.
But you just saw him 3 streets away, running away covered in blood, and you didn't go check on him.
Or like
I
ask him
don't
about
doubt
it.
that. I did not. I was busy, and I don't often
Can I-
question my employer when.
Yeah.
Can I insight check
not-
this guy? This
Yeah,
seems
we're all
fucked.
giving some serious stick out of this.
I mean, if he wants to
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
run through the streets acting crazy, who am I to ask the question?
I rolled
Now
I
that's
rolled
a good
2.
butler.
I rolled a 2 and got an 18.
Jesus.
Turns out.
I mean, as far as you can tell, he's not hiding anything. It's like, man, I don't give a shit. He can do what he wants. He's not my buddy. He's just my employer.
I
Fucking
feel
rich
like
people.
even if I hated my employer, I would still be like, "Yo, buddy, you good? Can I get you a
Apparently not,
warm
yeah.
compress?"
How long between when you got home and started setting up for the bazaar was it that between then and when you saw your boss?
Oh, maybe an hour?
And in that time, he came back from wherever he was running, freshened up, removed all the blood from his person, and then came out of his office as though nothing happened?
Correct. I assumed it was some sort of role play, or I don't know.
I hate that.
I learned a
Would
lot
you-
with that one sentence about Nabuli that I did not need to know.
And maybe the chief too. You know, hey. Do we...
Bridge Club.
Bridge Club. Lots of tall girders, very strong girders. Is there another way in the house? Would you have seen your boss come in that hour? Were you somewhere else in the house, or?
He could have ran all the way back here well before I returned with the grocery items.
Can we go upstairs or to wherever he would keep his clothes and check for said bloody outfit?
Absolutely. I can walk you through the entire place, or you can walk around yourself. He has given you free reign.
Yeah, well, Sock Boy's not really able to stop us at this point. Although I'm pretty sure we do need a warrant.
No. Don't worry about it.
We've been
That just gives them
invited
time
in.
to hide the evidence.
We've been invited in. It's like vampires.
Well, I'll
know.
explain to you as you travel
Yeah,
through on the
subsection
way
B,
up to his
paragraph
bedroom.
35 on page 472. Look it up. Cops of Vampires.
Yeah.
Just like vampires.
So,
I think it's about time for a
The
break,
lobby?
Jack.
oh, okay. With that, let's take a little break, and we'll be back in 10.
Yep.
All right. Hi, everybody. We're back from our break, and
Nuts.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, I'm not doing my job. I have too many things going on. The nuts have left the brain.
get nuts
Never.
back on the brain.
Yeah,
Never. Couldn't be me.
make nuts prevalent again.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
Even less of that.
Okay. So we were talking to Ronald
We were talking to Ronald. Poor Ronald.
Walrut, a half-elf butler. So that's where we are. He was that's what I was gonna say. He was walking you guys through the house, and I was going to describe some of the things you saw. So in the main lobby, when you walk in, it says it's truly spectacular. White marble stairs dominate the large lobby, and exquisite paintings by some of the most talented artists in Waterdeep adorn the walls. Looks like it's been very carefully planned out. Discrete mosaics break the monotony of the walls. Oriental-style hanging lanterns made of pure silver fill the room with a warm yellow-orange light. In the auction room, you can peek in there. Anybody want to see the auction room?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm making a
Everything in the-
map as we go.
Everything in the auction room has been done to impress. Solid marble table behind which the auctioneer stands, varnished pews for the clients, stained glass windows depicting scenes of Alashite battles, all adding to the impression of luxury and opulence.
Where is this room in the entranceway in relation to the vault?
The vault is underneath, so he would have taken you down a hallway and gone downstairs. So
Would you have
came
to
back
pass
into the
through
lobby.
these? So you would have to pass through these spaces to get kind of into or out of the building?
You would have had to pass through the lobby, and the auction room is off to the side of it, so you could easily look in there.
And just remind me again, I apologize. Where did the manservant say that Aaron picked up the brooch? Was it in the auction hall or was it in the lobby?
It was in the auction hall on the floor.
In the auction hall on the floor. So when we go into the auction hall, I'd like to look around for any bloodstains, any signs of anything being disturbed, like a hiding place, something like that, right? Like curtains, things like that. But what I'm really looking for is any blood. It's sort of out of the ordinary. If this blood-stained person came running around.
Let's
I'd like
have
to
everybody
help.
roll an investigation, or you can help each other.
Well, I have not moved, so I already have advantage on this investigation check.
I got another nat 20.
I too got a nat 20.
Yeah.
I got a 10.
So my net 20 becomes a 30.
Mine's a 24.
I mean, hold on. I
mine
rolled
also
an
becomes-
11. I got a 10.
you
Katie,
you
what's
look
your
at the
total?
inside of your jelly donut and no.
You know
I
what?
found the blood, guys.
That's still pretty good for Bart, I would imagine. And Katie, what was your total after the nat 20?
Also a 30.
Wow. Okay. The room looks like it still needs to be cleaned up. There's still a few handouts, lists, and things. Some of the placards that they hold up to signal that you're auctioning. Um, you find like crumbs in a couple places somebody had been eating during the auction. But you
See, that's
do
when Bart
find-
becomes Rain Man. Like he's this one had a large pretzel.
You do find some drops of blood. Like with a 30 investigation. A 30 is in the scale of difficulty. The DC 30, I think, is almost impossible, right? If you look at the DCs, ratings. You find not only that there are some spots of blood, but that they have sprayed a little bit, as if whatever sent the blood off was moving. And it looks like it came from the direction of the outside doorway, and the blood kind of was flung into the room.
Is it near the doorway or is it like inside the room?
It's inside. You're not outside the door. The door is locked right now because the place is closed. It comes
Okay.
from around the doorway and is sprayed with
And
it.
that doorway leads us back to the lobby.
No, that leads
The
outside.
The doorway.
You came in from a different door.
Okay,
from the
so
lobby.
so the doorway with the blood around it leads directly to the exterior outside.
The exterior. Mm-hmm.
So from the lobby to the outside is where we're finding the blood.
From the auction room to the
From
outside.
the auction room to the
Oh,
outside.
okay. All right.
It has a separate entrance. Nobody would come in through the lobby unless you lived there.
Oh, okay.
The
All right.
auction room opens to the outside. They like open these big wide doors. People come in to bid, and then when they leave, they close them.
And so
And
near
access-
those exterior doors, there is a splash of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Is there access to the vault from both the residential side and the auction?
The auction side leads into the lobby from a different door. So no, you wouldn't be able
Okay.
to get to the vault unless you went through the lobby and downstairs.
Okay.
And it looks like the auction room doors are heavy, like they can be sectioned off so nobody can get in through that side if into the house part, into the lobby from the auction room, if those doors are barred. But the doors to the auction room outside is just like shop doors. They don't look as heavily guarded.
Hey, Ronald,
Yes.
when do these doors to the lobby get unlocked? Those get unlocked at all during the auction day?
Well, to move things in and out of the room, yes, they are usually unlocked during the auction, but if there is some reason to close them off, it's easy to close them and bar them for good.
But if you were having an auction today, it wouldn't be surprising for those doors to just be unlocked all morning?
That is correct. Bringing things in and out through the auction room, we must keep the door open at times. I'm usually the one who is opening and closing these doors.
Did anything unusual happen during the auction today?
Nothing at all. I held the door. I was on the outside edge. I held the door for our guests, our customers, our clients who came in and out. I recorded their names. I was very careful. I can show you the list if you choose. And I locked up when we were finished.
So this blood wasn't here during the auction.
Blood? What blood?
Am I crazy? We said there was
I
blood
think
here,
it
right?
must have been. I think it must have
Yeah,
been.
but
here.
we're really good investigators.
I point at the blood. That blood.
What? To be clear, these blood droplets are extremely tiny and very
Oh,
hard to see.
okay.
Yeah,
It was because you guys rolled natural 20s.
Okay,
up
fair.
to
We're
30.
very good investigators.
yeah.
Sorry, I just
Otherwise-
expect so much from everybody. You know, they teach you at the academy that everybody's good at seeing these kind of things. That to be a top investigator, you've got to be really good.
Yeah, otherwise there is no blood unless you're like up around 25 and above.
Mm.
So,
Oh, which means I wouldn't have seen it because I rolled a 24.
correct.
What was it? How do I want to ask this? I don't know how I want to ask this, so I'm gonna just leave it there for now. When you saw the person running in the marketplace that looked like your boss, Was he carrying something, or was he just running by with blood on him?
It was very difficult to say, but I do not think he was carrying anything.
Was he
Like I
holding
say,
his
I-
chest, or was concerned in any way? Just or was he just covered in blood?
I would not say covered, but there was quite a bit on his chest and on his fancy shirt he was wearing, his Valentina tunic. That was quite odd.
Hey Bart,
Did
can you desock him and check his chest?
It's very difficult to say. Oh, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ah, fresh air.
Yeah, cowhide socks aren't very breathable.
And they smell.
Oh, that's a tough day. Oh,
Is there anything on his chest?
Oh,
Yeah,
so
he
you're pulling
pulled his shirt apart.
Yep.
Now we're assaulting him.
It's. What are you? I can't see what you're. What is something wrong?
Do you
There's nothing on his chest.
weird? Do you own a purple Valentina tunic?
Valen. No. Why? No. Of course not. Oh, wrong accent. Of course not. I do not. I don't. Why would I? No. Those ostentatious, disgusting. Generally. No. Can you remove my blindfold? It's starting to hurt my eyes.
How about a 17 insight? Do I believe that he doesn't own a Valentina tunic, or is he just being silly?
You believe him?
Hmm.
You can go in his room. You're still walking
Yeah.
through the house.
I don't. This is gonna sound crazy. I don't think that was actually him. Where'd Jennifer, Jezebel, Jillian, Jessica, what's her name?
Jasmine.
It was one of those. Where is she at?
in the
I
room
can
I put her
get
in.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we swap Ronald and Jasmine? I think
Sure. She
Count what
shuffles
happened
out in her
today.
bathrobe and slippers.
Hello, ma'am.
Can you tell us your
Hello.
name, please?
For the
Yes,
record,
my name is Jasmine Metalwart.
Metalwort.
Metalwart?
That is an unfortunate name. I'm very sorry.
Please, you're not the first to make fun of my name.
I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying it's unfortunate.
You have my
I
sympathy.
understand. I don't love it.
You're a rabbit named Hopperton.
Hey, no one asked you, little guy.
My
I sort of
family comes
looked
from
directly,
long line
eye
of
contact.
Metalwart. Yes, we're from a long line of Metalwarts. I've heard them all. I've heard of all of the jokes. Now, what do you want?
Oh,
Ms. Metalwart, can you tell us what happened today in your own words?
Yes, I broke my back cleaning this place as always.
When did you do that, ma'am?
Constantly.
All right.
like her
In the in the course of your cleaning today, was there anything you cleaned that you would describe as unusual, something you don't normally have to deal with?
It's always unusually dirty in here. I'm constantly cleaning. What? Yes, nothing unusual. Nothing out of the ordinary, no.
you didn't clean any blood.
No, I did
Objection,
not
leaving
clean
the
any
witness.
blood.
I would like to insight check that.
Sure.
Oh
Great,
my
28.
god.
You believe her?
Hmm.
I
Okay.
don't know why, but I do.
The blood you saw over there was not cleaned up.
Yeah. When was the last time you cleaned inside the
Inside the what? I didn't quite catch that word.
The auction room.
Auction. I have not cleaned in there today. The last time was after the last auction, which was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Weird.
Am I free
Did
to
you
go?
No.
did you see your
No,
did you
absolutely.
see your boss anytime this morning?
I did not see him at all. I heard him. Heard him talking in his office to his guest.
Who was
Go
his
on,
guest?
please.
Well, I don't know who his guest was. I'm not the butler. I am the cleaner.
I'll
What?
just kind of tap Bart on the thigh, kind of point at the sock.
Unroll. Take out of mouth.
Thank you. Yes. What is it now?
You had a guest?
No, not today. No, I did not. I was in my
Jacques
office.
Hughes.
That's a big word for you.
I'm proud of you, Bart.
He's been watching those French soap operas lately, or Elvish soap operas lately.
Elvish flowers.
What does that mean? I don't speak Elvish.
A bard told it to me. It means you're a liar.
I would never. Why would I? My life is at risk here. Why would I lie?
Well, to save your life. If you murdered somebody, generally, we see
You
a
have
lot
to
of
tell
that
us.
in our.
Yep. Investigator number 3 is not wrong.
Listen, I didn't. You kind of accuse me of murder. It's not like I. Even if I did it, it wouldn't be like I did it on purpose. It's not murder.
Well,
No one was
the code
murdered.
legal does provide for murdering a citizen without justification. You know,
I think they call it manslaughter when it's an accident.
You should check in the book.
there actually isn't any manslaughter in the code legal. I checked. I think murder without justification would be appropriate in this case, unless we find justification.
Okay, but like, so, Miss Metalwart, whose name I keep forgetting, she said that you,
Jasmine.
Impossible.
I mean, the
Jasmine.
housekeeper, Jasmine.
yes, she said that you had a guest.
Well, I certainly did not.
Were you speaking to anyone in your office this morning? Do you have a Rocky Talkie?
I do not. No. I've told you as clearly as I am honest. I was working in my office alone all day.
Ms. Metalwart, can you tell us more about what you heard?
She's looking very curiously at her boss, who's all bound and stuff.
It's
She
standard
says-
procedure.
A man
I need more
came
socks.
A man came to see him this morning. I was cleaning in the broom closet understairs. I did not see who it was. He apparently, Nabuli must have let him in. I overheard their conversation. The man sounded angry. He said something about lack of pay. And Nabuli said to keep his voice down and invited him up to the office. I don't know exactly what happened after that, nor did I try to find out. Frankly, I was too busy.
I would like to have been watching Nabuli while she was saying that to see how he responded to that.
Well, first of all, he's blind.
He's blindfolded, so you can't look at his
blindfolded.
eyes.
But his mouth is hanging open like in amazement. He says, no such thing happened. I was alone. I was alone today. Why is everyone lying about me? I was
All
alone.
right.
Insight. 18.
Who are you? Who are you inside checking? Nabuli or
I'm inciting Nabuli. Yeah.
you're 18 once again? Says that he's telling
All
the
right.
truth.
I would like to
Solve the puzzle.
well, I mean, yes, certainly. But first I would like to create a magical zone of and get the housekeeper and the butler and Nabuli in here and talk to them all inside of the zone of
Got it. Are you going to tell him you're doing this, or are you just doing it?
I don't think it's very like subtle. I'm pretty sure it's glowy and magical looking. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah. They'll
The
they'll know
difference
that
is-
it's happening.
Stand in
difference
the
is-
glowing box.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't force them. You can ask
Yep.
them, and if they're doing it willingly, then
Technically, we are the cops.
Otherwise
They
they'd
might
have
have
to
to
make
say
a
yes.
charisma save to try to
okay.
evade it.
Right. So they are willingly going in. If you tell them they're willingly going in, you can ask them all the same questions, and they give you the same answers.
Did the butler see who it was? She, Miss Meadowwart made an assumption that she wouldn't know who it was. She's not the butler, she's the maid.
Right. The butler wasn't there. He was running errands.
Oh, that's right.
He was running errands and then he saw can she describe the person?
She didn't see him.
You didn't see him. She only heard
She
it.
only overheard it.
She said she said she overheard this because she was cleaning in the broom.
Near the lobby.
Okay. Were you really cleaning in the broom? How much cleaning does a broom closet need?
There was a minimum amount of cleaning actually going on at the moment.
But a maximum amount of eavesdropping.
Yeah, do you make a habit of eavesdropping on your boss from beneath the stairs?
Isn't that a leading question? I
Yes.
wasn't particularly eavesdropping. I
Is
was
this dwarf a lawyer?
I was just in there.
Leading
I
the
just
witness, Your
happened
Honor?
to be in there. I wasn't trying to listen.
Is that true?
I didn't hear everything. Yeah, she's.
Mm,
You would know if she's lying.
Yeah.
Alright. Mr. Nabuli, who do you owe money to?
Who's on a truth, motherfucker?
I would rather not answer that question. There are several people that I potentially could owe money to at some point, but at the moment, without naming names, I am fairly debt-free.
Okay, well, it sounds like you owed somebody money. They're mad about you owing the money. Are you selling fraudulent magical items?
I would never. No, of course not. I auction off exactly what I say I auction off. I am an honest merchant.
Well, somebody's obviously upset about you owing them money or needing money.
Who could that be? It's a lie. And I was alone.
This guy's got some sort of fucking memory problem, and I ain't got shit for that. You know what I got? I got 2 fists.
I mean, with big enough fists, you can jog a lot of memories.
Do I
Do you
punch
have-
the
Ominous knuckle cracking.
Mr. Aldeffa here, do you have a ledger of your transactions? Maybe something that would help jog your memory about who you might owe money to. Did you recently send somebody to retrieve an item for your collection that maybe they thought was worth more money?
No, nothing at all like this. I can't imagine what's happening.
You say
If
you keep a
only-
ledger of all your visitors. Would a person that wasn't here from the auction, would they sign in
No, of course not. They would be. Either I or Ronald would answer the door and let them
Ronald,
in.
did Ronald, did you answer the door this morning?
I did not answer the door for anyone this morning until auction time.
I'm not good with
Can I
magic. Are there like forgetting spells or they don't teach you magical spells in academy. Is there like spells of forgetting or like something that could wipe his memories? Cuz like I don't know. Uh, you wouldn't happen to know somebody who would like wearing Valentina tunics, would you?
Who are you asking?
Uh the Mr.
Nabuli.
Nabuli, yeah.
I don't know anyone who actually wears this costume clothing, but perhaps you could find it. Why are you looking for the Valentina costume clothing?
Oh, Ronald said he saw you running around town this morning covered in blood in a Valentina costume.
What?
I don't know. Have you joined a cult lately?
It seems you've had a very strange day, Mr. Nabuli.
If I could scratch my head, I would.
Bart, can you scratch his head for him?
Cracks his knuckles.
No, that
Pulls
wasn't
out
it.
glaive.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
I have a friend that could potentially help.
Okay.
Is he the
I
constable?
use this man to. He is a diviner. He helps people locate lost items. His name is Murphy Stormwind. I believe that if you're looking for something, you've asked for this Valentina tunic more than once. Maybe he could find it for you.
Where can we find this guy?
I would have to look in my Rolodex. You'd have to take the blindfold off.
Bart, I think it's time you take your socks back.
If we could make our way up to the office.
Probably be good to look in there anyway. So yes, let's all go up to the office. You can Rolodex and we'll inspect your office.
Right.
What? While you all go to the office, I'd like to go to the broom closet and listen to the conversation from there.
All right. You go to the broom closet and it's a muffled conversation. You do see a little underneath a shelf. There's a pallet where you could, if you were shorter, you are pretty short. You could easily crawl under there and take a nap on this little pallet down there.
Tempting.
Room closet is unkempt, and you'd have to move all the stuff aside to find this little bed, but clearly she's been taking some time off.
We'll get cozy in that pallet while I listen.
Yeah, and you can hear a muffled conversation. You can hear kinds of tones of speech, but not all the words. It's not clear. Unless they're raising their voices. Let me run this guy past you guys. See if you want to go see them. There's a dining room. There's a kitchen.
Bard already investigated. Bard already investigated the kitchen thoroughly.
Oh yeah.
No
There's
jam.
no food left in the kitchen.
So, Bart, can you roll an investigation check while you were in the kitchen? When you were looking for the
two.
jam.
1. I rolled a 2
And got a 1.
and got a 1.
You do remember that the kitchen is a mess. A larder. There's a stairwell.
Wait,
there's
what kind of a
storage
mess?
room. Just messy, like not clean.
Like she wasn't cleaning all day.
Well, I'm more concerned about the butler said he brought home a bunch of groceries. Did he not put all those groceries away?
You'd have to go look.
He didn't say he was a good butler.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't
Okay.
say
I'm,
anything.
She's clearly
I mean,
not a
I'm-
good
I'm not
cleaner.
there. I'm just
again?
thinking about it while I'm in the broom.
Deep broom closet thoughts.
The larder is where the food would have been put away. So there's also a storage room and the office, a bathroom, guest's room, Jasmine's room, the master bedroom, a lounge, a music room. That's it.
It's a lot of rooms.
Mhm.
Does Ronald not have a room?
Guess not. Unless I missed it. No. Doesn't say Ronald's room anywhere.
Man, if I didn't have a room, I'd be mad enough to frame my boss for murder.
Well, he doesn't live there then. He lives somewhere else.
Yeah, he comes to work in the morning.
I think I'd like to first look at the office.
Okay.
But
So we go up to the office.
does when Bart comes back from the kitchen, do you tell us that it's messy at all, or you're just like, there's no fucking jam in here? Hello, Bart? Oh, Bart.
Huh?
I said, does Bart tell us that the kitchen is messy, or are you just like, there's no fucking jam?
As we're passing. Oh yeah. It's a mess in there, but before I got there.
Oh, that's a good clarification, buddy. Interesting.
I didn't think that was relevant, but now that we think that the butler might be involved.
Well, I think it's weirder that
I
the
am not
maids
involved at all.
the maid said she was cleaning all day, but the kitchen's not clean.
She did say that part before we did the zone of truth.
Mm-hmm,
I say, sticking my head out of the broom closet.
Hey Bjorn, if you were paid to clean, wouldn't you clean the kitchen?
Not if I can help it.
Okay, well, fair enough, I suppose. Okay. Well, let's, I guess, check out this office, and then I got a couple more questions for our dwarf lady friend.
Okay. The office is relatively small with only a desk, 3 chairs, and shelves. There's a set of exquisite crystal glasses and a silver pitcher neatly arranged on the shelves. A ludicrously large painting of Nabuli is hanging on the wall across the room. The representation is fairly accurate, except he seems taller, smarter, and more handsome than he actually is.
So every portrait of somebody who gets a portrait of themselves for their office.
Right.
For real.
I have an 8-pack.
Right. So you're in the office.
Does it look like anything's been set out for more than one person in here? So like you mentioned a pitcher and cups. Does it look like there were drinks poured for 2?
Roll an investigation check.
Okay.
You can do it, Rook.
Oh, I wanted to be a 20 so bad, but instead it's an 18.
And you were specifically looking at the crystal glasses. It
Looking
looks
at
like,
the glasses, but like looking at anything in the office that looks like it's set for 2.
It looks like there actually are 2 missing from that set. There's 2 When you go look at the glasses and pitcher, it looks like there's two little circles where two other ones were sitting.
Hmm. And they don't appear to be in this room at all?
Not that you can see.
Interesting. Got two missing cups. Those looks like some fancy ass cups too.
Hey, Ronald, have you cleaned up in here today?
I typically do not clean. I typically do other things that involve my expertise, and cleaning is not one of them. So the answer, the short version of that is no, I have not.
So your butlering duties don't involve bringing drinks or serving meals or any of those other butler things?
Potentially, but not cleaning. So you asked if I cleaned up. I did not.
Tomato, tomato. Did you bring this pitcher and drinks up here?
This pitcher and glasses usually reside on this shelf, as they are now. There are often 4 of them, but if the master drinks, sometimes there are not 4. They are sent down to be cleaned. I do not bring them to be cleaned.
Is that Jasmine's job?
Do you?
Either she or Nabuli himself will bring them down for cleaning.
But mostly you would think that he'd use 1 glass a day, right? And then that gets cleaned and put back up here?
He looks side to side. Is Jasmine in there with you?
I don't think so. I don't think we brought her up
Oh,
with us.
okay. To be honest,
Do we
it
leave
is
her
not always the cleanest. Sometimes it takes more than 1 day for the glasses to be returned, so he could have had one yesterday and one today. I do not know.
Why is she such a bad maid? Said the kitchen's a mess too.
Oh, the kitchen. It is awful.
Why does he keep her around?
Oh, from what I can discern, she has been with the family. You know how these things go.
I'm a cop. I don't have that kind of money.
Well, these things go that way.
Oh.
She comes with the house.
Oh,
Go that way.
interesting. Does anything else look afoul in here? Like things astray? Does there look like there was maybe a scuffle?
You can roll an investigation. You did. I understand you got an 18, but you're looking at the
Yeah.
glasses.
16.
Okay. Perfect. Because that's exactly what you needed to roll.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see on Nabuli's chair. You're looking at all the chairs. You're looking at where people could have been sitting. On his chair, there's some faint scratches in the arms, the varnish of the arms. And with that check, you realize these are rope marks.
Like
he got tied to a chair?
Rope marks.
Hey Bart, can
Yep.
you check his wrists?
Grabs his hand, holds it up, and pulls the sleeve down.
Away from the manacles that are already there on the wrist.
Give me a medicine check, Bart.
Oh,
Sure.
no.
This will go
Smack
great.
his wrist.
Oh, it did go great.
18. I rolled a 19.
You see some ligature marks.
Yeah, he was tied up.
Can you discern if those are ours or not?
You can. They're
we use manacles, so yeah, we're good.
Yeah, you see, there's rings here from the manacles, but if you pull the manacle down, he just squeezes it up the arm a little bit. It's like there's like braiding from the rope.
Great eye, Bart. You've really learned a lot from that creepy dude down in the morgue.
Gary, yeah. We talk a lot about shop while we're playing darts.
Horrifying. You need to keep better company. Anyway, Mr. Nabuli.
Did you know
Hey,
that
hey.
he taught me this one thing where a man can survive for 3 hours without his penis? It's true. You won't bleed to death for 3 hours. And I just look at the guy.
Is he still?
No, he doesn't have his
Blindfolded
blindfold on. Nope.
Is he
No,
still in his
we
mouth?
took it all off. No.
We took the socks out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's just weeping.
Mr. Nabuli, you have ligature marks on your arms.
I can't think about that. You're threatening my penis.
We're not gonna touch your penis.
I didn't mean it as a threat. I was just commenting.
He's very into fun facts.
Fun facts.
Why did he look at me like that?
He's
I thought you'd like to know. I'm
I
sorry.
do not want to know these things. Ah, wrong voice again. I do
It's
not
okay.
want to know these things at all. Leave me alone.
You scared him so bad he turned into another person.
Scared him so bad he got a different accent.
We've all been there.
I can't think about that right now. It's my penis.
I did. Let me see. He holds his manacled hands up. Yes, I see what you mean. Scratches on my wrists. What is this? What does this mean? What are you telling me?
I'm telling you, you were tied up today.
And it appears that it wasn't in the nice way.
I don't remember this. I don't
Is that in
remember
the
this
book?
at all.
I
You
got
have a
bored of being in the
BDSM book?
broom. I got bored of being in the broom closet. I'm gonna wander into the office.
That's
Oh,
upstairs.
hey, that seems
Wanna wander
relevant.
anywhere else?
No, I wanna come be in the office.
Okay. You're there. Poof.
Hey, did you guys notice those ligature marks that you're holding up on this guy's arm? That's wild.
Yeah. There's also scratch marks in
Relevant.
his chair.
That's
3
actually
hours.
really great job, Brooke. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna write that down with a question mark in my book. You don't remember Mr. Al Jazafir being tied up today?
My life is a sham. It is a lie. I know nothing. I mean, my life is a sham. I know nothing. God, dang. I'm broken now.
That's not
That's
true.
right.
You know that a man can survive for 3 hours after having his penis removed.
Oh, okay. I erase the question mark and then make a note.
When?
It's a declarative
this-
statement. That's not a question. Yeah.
Does anybody have like curative magic that can like end a charm spell or anything like that?
Not so
I would-
specifically, unfortunately.
I would like to investigate the area around the chair. And so what I'm looking for are any signs that a rope was removed, right? So like, and what I mean to say is like scuff marks on the ground or shavings from a rope that has been cut with a dagger, right? Things like that. So how trying to really figure out how did he get out of being tied up if he doesn't remember being tied up, right? Did somebody let him out or did he fight his way free? Are there like scuff marks and signs that he struggled his way out, right? That's what I'm kind of looking for.
Hey, roll it. Investigation.
That's another crit. 28.
Don't you play like this
So-
on Friday? Your regular Friday nights.
Don't ask me.
So the
Fantasy
scuff
Ground
marks,
decided it liked me today.
the scratches on the chair are in the, like on the sides and underneath the chair arms. And the scratches on him are on the top of his wrist. So his arms were like this, tied on. It doesn't look so bad that he had to either break his way free or pull himself,
So
and
not
the rope
raw
didn't
rope
cut
burns
into him.
type
Nope.
thing. Okay.
Nope, just little barely scrapes, and the same on the chair. The only way you could have seen that is to roll high enough. It's not really apparent unless you're really looking at it.
There's not like rope fibers and stuff on the ground, things like that. It just
Nope.
looks as though at some point he was tied to his chair.
So maybe the person let him go? It's like, it seems like whoever this is has a way of getting him to forget. So maybe they didn't need to keep him there longer.
I've heard of spells that will make you forget things. Could that have been?
It could be. I think I heard in Academy once that like modify memory is a thing that could have effects like that, but I don't know how. I can't cast a whole lot of spells or any really.
Does that mean I'm lying? Does that mean I'm lying? I'm
I
not
don't-
lying.
I don't think you're lying. I think you're under the effects of something.
I'd like to lean in to Nabuli and my eyes, which are
You're going
normally
to threaten
green,
my penis, are you?
they go a brilliant gold. And I speak a single word. With all the force of my command, I say, remember.
Interesting. I don't know if
As
that...
I cast command.
That's clever.
I can
Cool.
upcast it too, just to
Can you
make it
read
more.
the language of the spell?
I can. You speak a one-word command to a creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next. Oh, in 2024, it says you have to choose one of these options. Dumb. That's the whole point of command, is that you can be creative with it.
Yeah. What are the options?
Approach, drop, flee, grovel, and halt.
Oh, so you can't.
That used
you
the
can
word
say
cooler.
remember.
Yeah.
Boo 2024.
Yeah, right? Boo 5.5.
Okay. Do you want to still do that, or you want to take that back?
I mean, if that's how it works, then that's not gonna work. None of those words work. Never mind.
And I'm looking at my magical
idea.
item list and I'm like, damn, I took nothing useful for an investigation.
However, though, just to set your mind at ease, since it's only one word, you tell him remember. He's going to remember like Rosebud. He's going to remember like the best thing of his
God,
life. Right?
fuck that movie.
I know.
childhood riddle that he never got till now. All right.
I would like to... You know what? I'll do it anyways. I get 3 charges. I'm going to take out another wand from my bag.
Mhm.
And use a charge of it to cast, to use my Wand of Secrets. So it says the wand has 3 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend one of its charges. If a secret door or trap is within 30 feet of me, the wand pulses and points at the one nearest to you. So, is there a trap and or secret door within 30 feet of me?
There is not.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
My turn to try
Yep.
a magic item.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull a lantern from my pack. It's a hooded lantern that I light to shed bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are within the bright light, so 30 feet.
Both
Wait.
great tries, and nothing happens. You
Damn.
don't see anything. It's invisible.
Dang.
I'd like to try
Wait.
my magic item. I just pull out my rapier and threaten a bully.
Not his penis.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna try my magic item, and my winged boots have me fly around the room.
Even a small
With your
room.
arms crossed, just kind of hovering around.
Ah.
Yep. I start pacing back and forth up the wall, the ceiling, back the other wall, down the floor.
Well, I
We're
think
at an impasse, and I think this is a perfect time since we decided that we can finish this another time to let's stew on it and see what our next step is.
Cool.
We'll call it for the night, and this Scarab of Death was supposed to last 4 hours, but
we ask a
we
lot
had
of
fun
fucking
with it.
questions.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
So I
We're
think-
mostly silly little creatures.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I didn't have any jam.
The problem is the game expects me to be smart, and that's the problem.
Expects you or your character,
Both.
because if it's your character, you can just say, "What would I know?" Because I'm smart, and you could roll like a intelligence check or something.
I've only got a 10 intelligence. She ain't that smart. But
She's got a good book though.
yeah, she's got a great book that has really not helped her a whole lot today.
The title is My Brain.
I'm gonna guess that the procedures manual is probably not super helpful most days, but that's just me.
What are you talking about? The procedure manual is how you do the job.
Yep.
There's a lot of the job that's not in that book.
All right, Rook.
All right.
Well, guys, y'all have any shout outs before we go?
I think
Other than-
Shout out to Cardboard Combat and Katie Combat for showing up tonight and
Hell yeah.
hanging out with us.
yeah.
So go to Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Cardboard Combat. Check them out. When do you stream, Katie?
That's a great question. I cannot answer. Whenever
Yeah.
we want.
Whenever
if
they
you
want.
follow us on
When-
Twitch, you'll get a notification.
There it is. When Cardboard Combat goes live, go check them out. They're fucking
That work?
awesome.
Oh, sorry. I tried to command it, but it does not work. It's 20. It's the 2024 rules. They fucked it up. We're not sure when we'll pick up this one shot again or two shot at this point. But it will probably be within the next couple of weeks. We've got some time off coming up, so we will check schedules and plan it, and then we will let you know. Yeah. Yeah, check us out on Discord. That's probably the best place to get your updates for when silly things like this are gonna pop up. So, feel free to come hang out with us on Discord. We love to talk to people there.
Yeah, and if
There's
you're watching
memes.
this on YouTube,
There is
please
meme. There's
feel
at
free
least
to
one
comment
meme
and hit
in our
a like.
Discord.
There are many memes in our Discord.
But all right.
Thanks for watching, guys.
I'd like to
Once
shout out
again,
Jack. Thanks
Yeah.
for running this, Jack.
Yeah.
This is fun.
That was awesome.
It was
He's.
fun.
I don't think he's above me,
Puppy.
but he is
Yes,
in
I
our
am.
call, and so
On my screen, you're right here, right below me.
that guy's awesome. Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Goobers. A lot of you.
Nope. That way.
Yeah, I'm pointing at Justin.
I'm feeling
And now
very
Down here is Katie. And
Marsha
way down
right
there
now.
is Yeah. All right, guys, we're Dicey Decision. Thank you for watching, and please tune in on Mondays and Fridays to catch more stuff. Good night,
Right,
everybody.
bye.